Whether you're at home, at work, or in your car, tune in to ESPN 1410 Wing AM or stream us live at wingam.com. We're live. We're local. We're Dayton's ESPN radio station. Now, let's send it to the WING studios for Dayton's only local sports talk show. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome in. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine. And I have to make sure we give a shout out to our guys at Crazy King Burrito, again, located over in Fairborn. We're going to chat with the owners of Crazy King Burrito coming up here in just a moment, but they dropped off some food. These are some crazy burritos. Crazy King Burrito over in Fairborn. Kev, you actually, for Hot 1029, you're going to be out there tomorrow for them, right?
Yeah, I'm going to be broadcasting live for the grand opening celebration from 2 to 4 tomorrow. Crazy King Burrito inside the University Shops right across the street from Wright State. I was telling the guys it's a perfect location. I mean, you're across the street from a college with a bunch of hungry college kids. So prepared to be busy.
And everyone knows how much work I do out at Wright State. So I'm going to be a regular at Crazy King Burrito. But no, I appreciate that. They dropped off some food. Which burrito?
I got which one did I get? Let me see. I got. So I have two because I got half and half. So I got one Crazy King.
You're one of them?
And then I got a Sada one.
You're the pain in the ass. It gets half and half. You couldn't just let these guys make regular. There's one good solid burrito. You had to make.
Hey man, it was my first time trying it, so I want an array of options.
That is very fair. So I got the asada one, the carne asada one,
yes,
and
sir.
This looks fantastic. And I was so indecisive too. And by the way, I didn't know you could split them because they also have like shrimp. I mean, everything is made fresh the day of. So shout out again, Crazy King Burrito. The owners are going to come on with us here a little bit and tell us more about why they chose this location. It's the only location in the United States. So how about that? Pretty cool.
There we go.
Now, I'm from El Paso, Texas. Really good. I mean, that's authentic Mexican food down there. You don't get that here. There's some Mexican restaurants here, but it ain't Mexican food. Like, this is authentic Mexican food right here. I'm telling you right now, I give it the thumbs up. So there you go. All right, so happy Friday. High school football season is officially upon us. Congratulations, by the way. Last night, Kettering played Kettering. And unfortunately for Kettering, Kettering beat Kettering, but unfortunately for Kettering lost to Kettering. Kettering won the Battle of Kettering, and all day today, Kettering's been like, we're the better Kettering, and the other Kettering's like, man, we're not as good as the other Kettering. And then the one Kettering that lost is, oh, what happened? The camera just lost, because I pounded the table. I got too excited. This is the Justin Kinner Show without Kev Nash's face for the time being. Oh. So there you go. But nonetheless, it's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. But last night, Fairmont, the Firebirds, baby, took care of business, beat Alter. Alter is loaded on both sides of the ball. They have talent everywhere. There you go. There's that beautiful face of Kev Nash right there. What's your shirt say? It says Ope. Nope, now it says dope. Okay, you went from Ope to Ope is what you say when you try to slide past. Oh, sorry. Like, there you go. My ADD is in full force today, folks. I'm excited. So I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off today because it's high school football season, and there's so much I have to do throughout the day to get prepared for the games at night. And so I'm a little wired right now. Lots of coffee, lots of energy flowing, and everyone knows that's always the best Kinner right there. So it's going to be a fun day. But no, Kettering beat Kettering. Kettering lost to Kettering. Kettering won the Battle of Kettering, and the other Kettering is looking to redemption for next year. But shout out to the Firebirds. That's a huge win. They got Trotwood, the Firebirds, coming in next week. In fact, that's our Glacier Softwater game of the week next week. And that's pretty dang cool, because now all of a sudden you look at Fairmont, who I don't think many people picked them to beat Alter, and that's no disrespect to Fairmont. That's what makes that win even more special, right? And they're going to be told the same thing. And Trotwood's pretty good. You ain't gonna beat Trot. Well, they just took care of Alter, and they weren't supposed to beat Alter either. So shout out to Fairmont.
Lots of confidence going into week 2. You get a win underneath your belt, and obviously a win against your biggest rival. It's always the game that kicks off the season, so you're hype after that win. So you're going in up against Trotwood. Trotwood has won some state championships here in the recent past and everything like that. So, they won't be overlooked now. People won't be overlooking Fairmont now because they got a good win underneath themselves and everything like that. So it's going to be a good game next week, definitely.
So 16-7, the final last night, Fairmont defeating Alter in the Battle of Kettering. And look, we all know this is what I love right here, the time of possession. We talked about that. Like, when you're a running team, for one, it's one thing to be a running team, but you have to also be effective on the ground too. You can't just keep handing it off and have a bunch of 3 and outs. Right. They dominated time of possession. They had their time of possession last night, Kev, They had the ball for 32 minutes and 25 seconds. You know how long Alter had? 15 minutes.
Woo.
So they had they had that ball. I mean, they were eating that clock. I mean, it's not like they overwhelmed Alter by any means. They only put 16 points up on the board, but that's all you needed. Alter led 7-3 after the first quarter. And then it was just, it was all Alter, or it was all Fairmont after that. I mean, we had talked so much about the offense, but the defense taking care of that. Now, I know CJ Hicks, future Buckeye. I cannot wait to watch him in Columbus, but enjoying watching him here in the Miami Valley for a couple more months here. He had a touchdown called back. That would have been a big difference maker as far as that goes. But yeah, he does play on both sides of the ball, as do most kids in high school. But Malik Hilton, the quarterback for Fairmont, he threw the ball 3 times. He completed all 3 passes, 57 yards, and a touchdown.
Hey.
So, again.
What's his QBR?
Unfortunately. By the way, I have to say this, the GWAC, their website, I love the format of their website. Like, it's so detailed, and of course, it takes people actually, filling this out and tracking it. They help us out at our game so much because they're printing out stats, and they're feeding us all the information we need to be able to stay up to date on everything. But, 16 first downs for Fairmont compared to only 8 for Alter, 245 total yards for Fairmont compared to only 177 for Alter, but both teams, they didn't pass the ball a lot. I mean, 6 combined pass attempts between both teams, Kev. So
that was one of those games that you would love to be at. That's fast moving. That clock just don't stop moving when you're at a running pace and everything like that. And you talked about defense and time of possession. We've kind of gotten away from time of possession in like the pro game and even in college football. It's like one of those stats that people don't respect anymore, but it's still a thing in high school football. If you possess the ball, the other team doesn't have the ball. But we got into this world of high flying offense in college and in the pros, and it's trickled down to some high school football teams, but it's cool to still see high school teams running the option, running a ground and pound type of offense and everything like that. So every team doesn't have to play like every other team. So, each team still has a unique set of options that they go out there and deploy, especially offensively.
John Sladen's on Facebook. Shout out to John Sladen's. He says, go Firebirds. So I know he's fired up about the Firebirds getting the win in the Battle of Kettering over Alter last night. Again, the final score in last night's head-to-head showdown between Alter and Fairmont, 16-7, the final, Fairmont over Alter. And it's funny, you're sitting there, you love the time of possession. You love but you're the same one that criticizes basketball. You don't like when they hold it in basketball. You love when they hold it in football. You don't love when they hold it in basketball.
I remember the biggest game that I can remember, like the time of possession thing, was the Super Bowl. I can't remember exactly which number Super Bowl it was, but it was the Buffalo Bills. The first time they went to the Super Bowl and lost, they played the New York Giants. And, that was when Buffalo had the K-Gun offense, Jim Kelly. They had Andre Reed. They had James Lofton. And obviously, they had Thurman Thomas. And Thurman Thomas was like the best running back in the league. And, he caught the ball out the backfield. They were high-power offense and everything like that. And, Bill Parcells was the head coach of the Giants there. And also, Bill Belichick was the defensive coordinator, and like one of the offensive strategies for the Giants was, hey man, they score 38 points a game, but they can't score 38 points a game if they don't have the ball. And I remember Otis Anderson, they just kept handing it off on like 3rd and 9. Like obviously 3rd and 9, you're gonna pass, right? Nope, they ran it. Like they just kept running the ball, and the time of possession was crazy in that game. So, the guys on the Buffalo Bills defense were gassed in the fourth quarter, Hall of Famers like Bruce Smith and then John Talley and those type of guys. They were gassed in the fourth quarter and everything like that. And it worked out to their benefit. Giants won that Super Bowl.
All right, Justin Kinner, Kev Nash hanging out with you here on a Friday. But no, that was cool last night. Again, I love Thursday night football, pretty cool. For one, Friday nights is where it's at, but I love that Alter Fairmont Thursday night. That kind of kicks everything off for the high school football season. So there you go. Fairmont 16, Alter 7. Tonight, our Glacier Softwater High School Football Game of the Week. College Football Hall of Famer Keith Byers and myself, we will be at Centerville High School, where we will get to have me on the call for Centerville and Centerville and Fairfield later on tonight, 7 o'clock to kick off. And we'll hear from Kirk Herbstreit at halftime of that game. So we're pretty pumped about that. And, so lots coming your way here tonight, a football-centric show. And I want to open up with this interesting topic coming out of college football, Kev. And what's funny is yesterday, so you and I talked about this alliance storyline that's kind of starting in college football. We were just kind of recapping it because you had been off for the last week and we hadn't really had time to kind of dissect it ourselves. But it's coincidentally enough, picking back up, according to sources, the ACC, Big Ten, and Pac-12, again, they are going to be announcing an alliance next week. The only thing is, though, nobody really knows exactly what this alliance is going to mean. And that's what's like. Bobby Carpenter, love Bobby Carpenter. He was on the Pat McAfee show. Mm-hmm. Pat McAfee, by the way, is one of my favorites out there. Literally, no one really touches Pat McAfee. But Bobby was on with him, and Bobby brought up a good point. He goes, I don't like this alliance talk. This whole conversation about forming alliances, he goes, that's what, why are you forming an alliance? Like, your conference is your alliance.
Right.
So maybe, does it make sense for the ACC, Big Ten, and the Pac-12 to form an alliance? Because and he brings up a good point, that the communication between teams within their own conferences isn't great. So now you want to combine 3 conferences to communicate for every team in there. This is really coming down to, this isn't an ACC, Big Ten, Pac-12 alliance, Kev. This is a Clemson, Ohio State, USC, Oregon alliance, with everybody else maybe might be able to kind of benefit from this big picture, whatever this alliance means. But I thought that was a good point. It doesn't make sense. The Big Ten needs to come together stronger with their teams. They need to come together, the ACC, same thing. Adding more pieces to the puzzle is only going to make it more complicated. The Big Ten's not a very good conference outside of Ohio State. They have to find a way. Their problem is, if Michigan is who Michigan should traditionally be, if Penn State doesn't lose big game after big game every time that they're built up, if teams start carrying their own weight, this isn't happening. This is happening because the other conferences have weakened over the years. And it's not just because Alabama has taken off in the SEC. The thing is, in the SEC, we can rip them all they want, but Georgia takes care of their business. They might lose that one game that counts, but it's usually against the number 1 team in the country in Alabama, so they get the benefit of the doubt. LSU's won a national championship. Okay, we've seen Georgia and Alabama play in a national championship, and that's not because of SEC bias. That's because those teams carry their own weight. I know we love to beat up on Michigan, but I hate Michigan for the opposite reason that you all love to bang on Michigan. I hate that they're bad. I hate that they can't figure their stuff out. I hate that Ohio State and Michigan are not viewed as the same level of competition for one another. That hurts the Big Ten. Michigan is hurting the Big Ten. Penn State is hurting the Big Ten. You're Florida State, you're a Florida State fan. Your Florida State's hurting the ACC. We need to stop trying to do this whole, the SEC, it's not fair for anyone. Everyone else needs to start doing their part. The Ohio State's doing their part. Michigan, step the hell up. What's wrong with you? This is getting out of hand. You have Jim Harbaugh. He either has it or he doesn't. And if you want that big name just for credibility purposes and you think that's more credible than actually winning football games, then that's why you're a loser school now. I don't get into that whole making fun of Michigan just to make fun of them for the whole sake of the rivalry. I'm making fun of them because they're just not living up to their end. If Michigan is Michigan, like what they used to be, and Ohio State's doing what they're doing, and Penn State, if James Franklin can get over that hump of lose, like you talked about Clemsoning, that's kind of Penn State over the years. They always have a top 10 team coming into the season, and they lose the games that they should win or at least be in competition with. It doesn't make any sense. I don't like this idea of this alliance. I think that right now they need to clean up their own messes within their own conferences before you combine messes. If Florida State lives up to who they are, if Miami can return to the U, and then you have Clemson in there, and you look at the fact that North Carolina is the second best team in that conference, that's a problem. That's why they're weak. It's not because the SEC's bullying everybody. It's because you have conferences not doing their part. And then the Pac-12, I leave them drowning. I don't help them. USC, that's the whole thing here. If USC was a traditional power like they used to be, Oregon, if they can just stay more consistent, along with Clemson out of the ACC and Florida State and Miami, if Michigan and Penn State live up to theirs, that's 8 teams that could take playoff spots away right there from the SEC. I don't blame the SEC. Stop making them the villain. Why don't you start looking at yourself in the mirror, ACC, Big Ten, and Pac-12. Start holding your teams more accountable and stop playing the victim role because that stuff's getting old. I don't feel bad for them in this situation. Not one bit. Kev, I'm eating my burrito. It's your turn.
I'm not going to feel bad for them, but what I will say is I would like to see what this alliance is going to be before I make a judgment about it. Fair because enough. It's just they're making an alliance. So what does that mean? Like, does this mean
speculation? Yeah,
there's so many speculations. It's like, all right, they're going to combine and make a big super conference with all these teams and call it the AB Pac-12 majigger. I don't know what they're going to do. Or are they just going to say like, all right, we're going to play teams only exclusively from these conferences and out of conference play? Is that what it's going to be? So I want to see what this alliance is supposed to be. I want to hear from them and get an idea of what it's supposed to be before I make a total judgment. The other thing is, in college sports, the NCAA only has power to flex when it's bowl season, and they don't have any power over the conference because the conferences control themselves. So I agree with you. People that are bashing the SEC for doing what's right,
doing their job.
The SEC, you know, nobody had a problem when Nebraska jumped ship from the Big 12 and joined the Big 10. Nobody in Big 10 country blinked an eye. They just like, all right, welcome to the Big 10. Come on down. Bring your TV revenue with you. Bring all your fans with you. It'd be great to go to Lincoln, Nebraska, and everything like that and play a game in your stadium. Nobody cared. And nobody really cared when Rutgers and Maryland came. They looked at Rutgers and Maryland like, what are they going to bring besides TV viewers to the conference? Outside of that, people really didn't care. You know, those schools are more basketball centric schools. So, you know, all right, holler at us in December when basketball season starts. That's when we'll pay attention to Maryland and Rutgers and things of that nature. So I just think it's, to use one of your favorite words, hypocritical that Big Ten fans are mad at the SEC because the Big Ten has done what's best for the Big Ten a long time ago when they added Penn State. Penn State isn't a charter member of the Big Ten. You know what I'm saying? They've been added. How many years have we gone that the Big Ten is trying to get Notre Dame to join the conference? And then you had the ACC trying to get Notre Dame to join the conference. Look, man, we all got to come to the realization that all these conferences work independently of each other, and they're all trying to do what they deem is best for themselves. So, yes, I may not like it. I may not like the fact that the Big 12 is no longer a thing. I may not like the fact that the only things that seem to matter to anybody now is the college football playoff. I love college football for what it is, and I love the fact that college football isn't the NFL, where you can have good games that don't really quote unquote mean anything to the masses. Like, you know, the game between Oregon and Oregon State. I love watching that game. You know, it comes on at like 10:30 at night, and 9 times out of 10, Oregon's going to beat Oregon State, but that might be that time that Oregon State pulls the upset. And now it's not pulling, like, it's not viewed as, oh man, Oregon State beat Oregon. Is Oregon State lost to Oregon State. Like, these type of things, like, I'm not a fan of. We talked about this before, where I'm a fan of credit. I'm a fan of giving people credit and a fan of teams getting credit. I may personally be like that, but the masses don't care. The masses want this. The masses want this super conference. The masses don't care about the MAC. The masses don't care about, you know, the Oklahoma States. They care about Oklahoma. The masses don't care about Texas Tech. The masses don't care about Indiana football. The masses care about Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State. The masses. And unfortunately, the masses matter more than the little guy like myself that just loves the whole spectacle of college football. So, you know, college football is going in a direction that I'm personally not a big fan of. I'll still watch. And like I said before, with the expansion of the college football playoff, or potential expansion of the college football playoff, and, you know, these super conferences, I'll adjust. That's what we do. We adjust.
So according to this article on ESPN.com, ESPN staff writer David M. Hill, through his investigation, apparently has found out that there is an alliance committee. Like, there's an actual alliance committee that has been formed between the three conferences, the Pac-12, the Big Ten, and the ACC. And now some of these include, you know, coaches and athletic directors and what have you. So in this article, it says that the scope of the alliance remains uncertain. And this is according to 1AD. While initial conversations involved all sports, recent discussions have focused solely on football and men and women's basketball. Now, part of this is one of the reports coming out is that they are working on creating a non-conference scheduling partnership, which could also create lucrative TV opportunities. So this is what I like. It shouldn't have taken the SEC doing this for people to jump in on this. I don't know why football hasn't learned from basketball. All I hear from schools is how difficult it is to schedule. Well, it's kind of like, we're both mid-age, not middle age. What the hell are we? We're 30s and you're almost whatever. It doesn't matter. But we're in our 30s. We're grown-ass men. And you start to look around at the people in your life. I didn't mean middle age. I meant like mid-30s, whatever. I meant mid-30s, but it doesn't matter. The point is that you look at the people in your life around you, friends and whatnot, and we don't judge anybody if you're not married by any means. But, some people you look at and say, I could tell why they're not married. I could tell they have baggage. They have a lot of baggage. I could tell why they are not married. And then, you start to look around college football and it's like, so when those people that aren't married and they complain about how hard it is to find somebody, but all they tell you is, oh no, I don't like that individual because of X, Y, and Z. They always have this high criteria. I'm like, at some point you're going to have to lower your standards because you're too damn picky. You're going to be 50 before you find somebody. That's college football. So I don't feel bad for these athletic directors who complain about how hard it is to schedule. Well, maybe you need to lower you need to lower your expectations a bit. You need to stop being such a diva when it comes to this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you create your own problems half the time in life. And I think some of these athletic directors, and that includes college basketball, locally, I think that UD creates a lot of their own messes. I think that because they have their standards so high, and that's not always a bad thing, but like sometimes your own standards get in your way because you view yourself as something that you're most likely not. And that's not a shot at them. That's the reality of it. We all have that friend that's, in their mid-30s that still can't be in a relationship, they can't get married, and they have all these high expectations for someone they want to be with. And I'm like, you have a lot of flaws to be sitting there and trying to demand that the perfect woman comes into your life. That's these athletic directors. You have a lot of flaws to sit there and act like the perfect situation has to fall in front of you before you jump on it. So you look at college basketball, the ACC Big Ten Challenge. Mm-hmm. That's huge. Yeah. We hear from ADs how hard it is. I hear Neil Sullivan at UD all the time when he does his press, when he addresses the media. Oh, it's so hard to find teams to play. Oh, we can't find anyone to play. We can't find anyone to play. It's really not that hard to find someone to play. You just gotta, you gotta stop finding reasons not to play someone and find reasons why you should play somebody. Okay, and that's kind of how this is. It works for the ACC and the Big Ten. Football ADs like to say all the time, it's so hard to find people to schedule. No, it's not. You gotta lower your expectations. The ACC Big Ten Challenge kicks ass in basketball. Imagine what that would do in football. Like, that's where this is going to be. It's going to be a branded thing. So every year you head into the season and you have your non-conference games already slotted for you, and that's less work for the ADs. It's less work for the schools and the coaches. You know what's in front of you. And overall, don't tell me that those matchups aren't good for the school. Oh, I don't want to play Clemson. It's huge. So, and now you don't have to do as much work. I hope that that's what comes out of this. I know I rambled there and I was trying to make my point. I don't think I did a very good job, but the point is, these conferences are making it harder than it has to be. ACC, Big Ten Challenge in basketball, make it in football. Pac-12, get in on the party too. Be a part of the branded things. You want to exclude the SEC? Fine, do that. I wouldn't even make fun of you for that. I find that hilarious, and I think that that's good business, and that's what I want to see. I hope one of the things of this alliance is that you start to see these conference challenges where it's Clemson versus Ohio State in the regular season. And maybe it's not even the big dogs.
And
maybe
you get a true test of your conference versus another conference. It's not going to be like, well, the Big Ten was 5-5 in bowl play. What does that mean? That doesn't mean anything to me. A regular season showdown, and then you come with some tangible stats after the fact. And something about the Big Ten ACC Challenge that I really like is they normally schedule like in teams, like, so Syracuse will play Purdue. They're at the same level. Nobody's going to say like, oh man, Syracuse about to win the national championship this year, or Purdue. So they're kind of like at the same level. Or like that year that Ohio State played North Carolina at North Carolina with Greg Oden and Daquan Cook team. Like, they were highly touted. Both teams were highly touted that season. And so they had a showdown. Those like-minded teams play it. Like, nobody wants to see Duke and Penn State. I don't think Duke and Penn State have ever played in the ACC Big Ten Challenge because we kind of like, they're not on the same level playing field. So that's what I would like to see. I would like to see those type of matchups. Like, okay, well, If we're going to do this, let's do it right. Let's make sure we get a lot of eyeballs on the TV screen. Let's give the people what they want. They want Ohio State, Clemson. They want Ohio State, USC. They want Ohio State, Oregon. They want Oregon, Clemson. Like, it's a whole conference that you can mangle around and manufacture great television. And that's what you do. You can have a 3-day lineup. You know, you can go to your Indiana versus Arizona State at noon. And
that's
you can North Carolina versus
Penn State,
Wisconsin. And then, and the capper is obviously Ohio State, whomever at night. Like, you can do that. You can make this. And I remember a couple years ago, Gene Smith brought this up. And he was raked across the coals because the Big Ten plays the Pac-12 in the Rose Bowl. That's the time when we play them. Times are changing, man. You got to be able to adjust. You got to be able to make moves. And I commend them. And especially if this is the play, is this the alliance that you're going to come with, like a scheduling alliance, not like a super conference? I will love this because it gives us better games. It gives us more entertaining games. And it's no disrespect to the MAC schools or the 1AA schools that these teams roll in there for a paycheck, because, they got to get their checks and everything too. But like, I don't watch those games, man. I watch them till halftime and I turn them off because I don't watch blowouts. It's too many games on a Saturday to watch blowouts. Like, I'm a college football fanatic. So I know a lot of people out there, they really only watch their team, and then they hate watch Alabama, and then they hate watch Michigan, and they hate watch Clemson. I don't hate watch. I watch to be entertained. So if it's a game on between Louisiana Monroe and Troy, and it's in the fourth quarter and it's tied at 35, I'm turning it on. I don't care if Ohio State's up 42 points. I don't care. I'm not watching that. I have zero interest in watching blowouts ever.
Yeah, I think it really, so that at the end of the day, this makes sense from that aspect. There's going to be more to it than just the scheduling side, which we talked about the business side of that yesterday, that fans aren't going to care about that. Fans will care about the scheduling side as far as that goes. All right. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine. Here on a Friday. I haven't been able to eat this burrito, so I
ate mine while you were talking.
Crazy King Burrito. Shout out to Crazy King Burrito. They just opened up, 2624 Colonel Glenn Highway in Fairborn, right by Wright State University. So go and check them out, because I'm telling you right now, this whole studio smells like, these Crazy King burritos. And I'm diving into this. Kev, send us to commercial break. We'll be right back. Kenner's got to eat his burrito so he can refuel for tonight. Again, we have our high school football game of the week tonight, presented by Glacier Soft Water. Centerville and Fairfield coming up 7 o'clock to kick off later tonight. College Football Hall of Famer Keith Byers and I will be on the call. What's up?
So, Centerville has the camo jerseys, right?
Yeah, I saw that today.
Have you seen the jersey?
I haven't seen the jerseys, but I saw on the roster that it said the camo. They sent the one roster they sent was for their regular jerseys, but they had to send the camo jersey roster over.
I know a guy who knows a guy. I got the sneak peek.
Oh, really?
I got the sneak peek.
Well, no one can see him.
Oh, I'll show you. I won't show anybody.
No one can see him.
Moving forest.
We'll be back.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
O'Reilly. The professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts will help with all your car care needs. Whether you're shopping for parts, accessories, or supplies, we've got you covered. Right now, get Superior Cover-All Tire Shine 2 for $16. Plus, earn double O Rewards points. Keep your car looking like new. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
At Allstate, we've been saying you're in good hands for a long time. But what exactly does that mean? Does it mean you're protected from life's uncertainties? Does it mean you can worry less and live a little more? Does it mean you're not alone, even when things get kind of hard? Actually, yes. Yes, it does. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Allstate and affiliates offer products and services subject to availability, terms, and conditions. If you owe the IRS back taxes, then get ready to pay up. The IRS has giant private collection agencies actively tracking down folks who owe the IRS. So if you think dodging them was stressful in the past, it's going to get a whole lot tougher. Optima Tax Relief has this advice. Don't wait. Solve your tax problems now before it's too late. Optima Tax Relief works to stop the demand letters, stop the aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS collectors from targeting you. Ask Optima about the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands, and nobody knows this program better than they do. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, and they get results, having resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get a fresh start. Call today for your free consultation.
Call 800-709-7022. 800-709-7022. 800-709-7022.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hi, John Glazer here for Glazer Soft Water. We've been making water great since 1988, and no matter what your water issues, we have solutions. Your city water can be clear, but still be hard and have the taste and odor of chlorine. Well water can look, smell, and taste terrible. Glazer Soft Water will fix your water and will even include a 7-year parts and labor warranty so you don't have to worry. Visit our website to learn more at glazersoftwater.com. Glazer Water really is better water.
The moment you fire up a Gator UTV, the engine has your full attention. The completed job is on the horizon, and the trail meets its match. Just like that, you made short work of a long to-do list. Run with us on a John Deere Gator UTV. With effortless four-wheel drive at the flip of a switch and our smoothest shifting transmission yet. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere Gator for more.
At Napa, we keep things moving. If it has wheels and an engine, we help keep it on the road. And if it's on the road, we have parts for it. And if you need a part, you can get it fast, like same-day pickup or next-day delivery fast. At Napa, when we're not thinking about cars, we're thinking about the people who drive them. Because when it comes to serving you and our community, our motor never quits. That's Napa know-how. Same-day pickup and next-day delivery available at participating stores and on in-stock items only.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-362-2000, 362-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. I'm a private real estate investor who can solve your real estate problems fast for cash. Do you want to sell and just be done with it? Okay, great. I buy vacant properties, boarded up houses, pre-foreclosures, and inherited properties. I also buy apartment buildings, rental portfolios, divorce homes. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. I look forward to solving your real estate problems today. Give me a call for an all-cash offer at 614-362-2000, 614-362-2000.
Greatness. It's not born of coincidence. It's not a product of luck. It's forged through dedication, drills, and the acquisition of new skills. Wanting won't get you there, but sweat equity just might.
Timothy's Bar and Grill on Brown Street wants to wish the Dayton Flyers Red Scare the best of luck in their journey through the basketball tournament. Wear red, be loud, go Flyers!
Hi, I'm Sales Manager Jason High at Germain Honda Beaver Creek, proud recipient of the prestigious President's Award. We are your local Honda dealer, and we invite you to see our newly renovated state-of-the-art facility. You'll be amazed at our selection, and remember, all new Hondas come with a lifetime powertrain warranty. Visit us at Route 35, just east of 675, conveniently located near Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Germain Honda Beaver Creek, the right car, the right price, the right way. I'll see you soon.
If you need new roofing, siding, or gutters, skylights, or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding in Fairborn has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Lance Roofing and Siding, 8460 Dayton Springfield Road in Fairborn. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722 or online at lanceroofing.com.
Whether it's next day delivery or getting involved in their local communities, Napa goes above and beyond to serve you because their motor never quits. That's Napa know-how.
Staples is evolving to Staples Connect, a new world of possible with innovative tools for small business and remote workers and learners. Explore what's new at your local Staples store or staplesconnect.com.
The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine. Weekdays at 3 p.m. right here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio.
Sensational.
Hold up. I finished my video. Hold up. There's shrimp in this baby. Hold up. I got to figure this out. Because this, like you heard me during the break, I ain't just saying this just to sell it up, man. This is really good. So I got the number 5. Which one did you get? You said you
4.
split it.
Got the 4. Got the asada, and then I got
Al Mojo de Ajo. I got number 5. Has beans, rice, cheese, shrimp, butter, garlic, onion, salt and pepper, sour cream, lettuce. I just put some of the green sauce on there. He said they have some chipotle sauce. That's really good. Crazy King burrito. Really appreciate them. They're here hanging out. They got the chips and salsa, so Kev's crunching away over there.
Mm-hmm. And
So
guess what? I'll be out there tomorrow, 2 o'clock, broadcasting live.
There you go.
So basically everything on the menu, I get to sample.
Mm-hmm. There you go. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash presented
Come
by...
join me.
And what time are you going to be out there again?
2 to 4. Crazy King burrito right across the street from Wright State inside the university shops. Yes.
There you go.
Speaking of
So, interestingly enough, like we're talking about the ACC, Big Ten, Pac-12 forming an alliance. What matchups? Like, so looking at the ACC and then looking at the Big Ten, and you can look at the Pac-12 as well. If you were to create an ACC Big Ten challenge, because you talked about how the basketball does it, like they don't just throw random team. They're not going to take the bottom of the ACC and throw them at the top of the Big Ten and vice versa. They're going to make the matchups count. Like they're going to make sure that they're good. That way when they're on TV. And see, this is what makes sense for these conferences. We talk so much about the Big Ten network and the SEC network and the Longhorn network and the, Big 12. Do they have a network? I think they do. It doesn't matter. Bottom line, that's why they're folding because no one knows. So anyways, it's at the point where everyone talks so much about those networks and how those networks make the money. But in basketball, there's the Big Ten network. In basketball, there's the SEC network and ACC network and what have you. But they still come together for joint TV deals for the ACC Big Ten Challenge. So football's missing out on that opportunity as well. You're going to make more money doing this way. So sure, the SEC makes bank. The Big Ten makes bank on its own. But you could even make more bank if you start working with those other conferences and do these types of challenges. So when you look at the Big Ten and you look at the ACC, Ohio State Clemson's an easy one. Obviously, that's kind of boring because we've seen it so much recently, but I would definitely watch it in the regular season because what we haven't watched is Ohio State at Clemson. What we haven't watched is Clemson at Ohio State. To see Dabo at the shoe, to see Ryan Day, pacing up at the sideline at Clemson at night, that would be pretty dang cool. But what about? Yeah, exactly. Fox, stay away from that. I'm telling you. So you look at the ACC. So Florida State and Michigan make a lot of sense.
Huge.
Florida State is the Michigan of the ACC.
I wouldn't go that far.
Michigan's, they've at least won a national title. Florida State in the last decade at least, so they have that going for them. But we're talking about right now. If we're making this right now,
oh yeah,
there you go.
I mean that's the matchup. I could do this all day. This is in my wheelhouse because as everybody knows, I watch way too much college football. I'm not trying to steal your thunder, but Penn State North Carolina. That matchup this year will be awesome. Wisconsin, Virginia Tech, Arizona State, and Indiana. Like, Arizona State's on the rise, Indiana's on the rise. Like, those type of matchups will be outstanding, man. I would eat it up, man. I'm trying to think who Oregon, because Oregon kind of is that team that's obviously it's not at the same level as Ohio State or Clemson, but like they're the best team out there, Oregon and USC. Who would you want to see them play from either the Big Ten or the ACC?
Repeat that again.
Oregon and USC, because we got to get them in the mix, because I would love to see them come to the Midwest or to the East Coast. Who would you want to see those teams matched up against?
Oregon. And
obviously they play Ohio State this year, but
Oregon and Miami.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Oregon would get the nod there.
Oh yeah,
but
I would go with
those are two unique brands going head to head, because remember, brands matter. It's a business.
That's a long flight.
It is, but right now the desperate times call for desperate measures. They can't be picky, right? Like we talked about, you got to lower I feel like in college athletics, they spend more time writing up a list of why they won't play somebody than why they will. And they you're choosing to make your job harder. Dayton, from a college basketball perspective, makes their job harder when it comes to scheduling, because their expectations are so high, and as I said earlier, I know that sounds like I'm making fun of them for that. I'm not, but I do think that gets in their way as well. I think they make their job harder, and ultimately they preach about the importance of the way that they schedule, and yet they haven't been in the NCAA tournament in how long now? So they got to ease back on their and I like their schedule that's coming up here, but that's besides the point. Their reasons for why they schedule the way they do is to be that constant tournament team, but that's not leading to that result. So now you're just, it seems pointless. Like you're trying to be someone you're not. Just schedule to schedule, get good quality teams. I don't know, if you're going to play 4 good teams in the non-conference just for the sake of playing Power Fives, and then you play a bunch of bad teams at UD Arena, are you really bettering yourself for A-10 and regular season play? No, you're not. Why not play a more balanced schedule? Even if you miss out on some of those, premier matchups, get a more balanced schedule. Stop hiding from these teams. Like, that's what drives me nuts. Your whole purpose of scheduling the way you do is to get to the NCAA tournament, and you're not getting to the NCAA tournament. That's a local example for me as to why college athletics gets in their own way, especially when it comes to football as well. I would love this, Kevin. I'm trying to think. So North Carolina and USC, this North Carolina team would be interesting. I would love to see the powder blue with a powder blue out with the Trojan jerseys there. Like, the color schemes too matter. Like, that's why, even the powder blue with Oregon playing at North Carolina, good quality game out on the field. I would love that as well. By the way, Mac Brown, good for him. I love that we're talking about North Carolina in this light, because we keep hearing how Duke can't do football and basketball because they're so good at. No, North Carolina has proven that, no, you just need to find the right coach. You need to put the right amount of emphasis on the program, and it could be done.
The funny thing about it is Mac Brown was the coach last time they were good. And then he went and took the Texas job, made them good, won a national championship, him and Vince Young, kept that train rolling with Colt McCoy. Then they started going off the rails again, goes back to North Carolina, building North Carolina back up. I think the common denominator here is Mac Brown.
That's all you got to do. That's all you got. You just got to get the right coach.
Yeah.
So Duke, there you go. Find a Mac Brown.
I'm trying to think the last time Duke was good. When Steve Spurrier was their head coach. That was like in the 80s. Like,
long time
ago. That was the last time I can actually even remember them being good. Like, oh man, Duke, they're winning football games.
Michigan at USC, the brands that you could sell the hell out of that at USC. USC at the big house.
Oh man.
The possibilities are endless.
And that's what you're talking about, bringing those teams to the other campuses. We're not going to do this whole,
neutral
we're going to neutral site. We're going to play at Jerry World. We're going to play at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Nah, I want to see Ohio State go to these schools. I want to see Ohio State on Clemson's campus. I want to see Florida State at the big house. I want to see Florida State at Camp Randall at night. How about that? Like, I want to see these teams from the South come up to the Midwest, or these teams from the West Coast go far east and everything like that. Get the environment going. Like, that's what college football is about. I remember times where, you would see Colorado playing Boston College back in the day. Like, you don't see those type of matchups anymore. They're not publicized like that anymore. So this can possibly be a way to bring that feeling back of college football, of saying like, hey man, we're playing quote unquote anybody anywhere. It'll be manufactured, but Everything's manufactured nowadays.
That's all you got to do. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine. So I tell you what, coming up, we're going to talk with the owners from Crazy King Burritos. So we're pretty excited about that. I'm going to finish my burrito. And then after that, we will, of course, dive into, you heard our matchups that we want to see, but what matchups do you want to see? Head to Facebook, search the Justin Kinner Show. You can watch the show live weekdays from 3 to 6 and be involved in the comment section. The SEC commissioner. He's jumping in. He says he got the green shirt memo as well, so he must be sporting a green shirt today.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. So, and he said, he's saying too, when I went to the park, if you wanted to play, you played. So there's no excuse. If you want to play, play. So there's that. Centerville Elks. Chris asked, what game are you guys calling tonight? Centerville and Fairfield tonight at Centerville. So there's that. That's our game of the week. College Football Hall of Famer Keith Byers and I will be live out there, Glacier Softwater, helping bring you our high school football game of the week each and every Friday, 7 o'clock, coverage and kickoff right here on 1410 Wing AM. We'll step away for a few minutes. Hour 2 coming up. Shout out to the Big Ten commissioner, Andy. Andy's tuning in and hanging out. Andy! Watching us live on the Facebook feed. You can find us on YouTube as well. On YouTube, we're going to be starting, again, there's going to be our ESPN Dayton shorts, which will be not the shorts you wear, but just short clips from the show, just quick clips you can access from the show. Right now, we have live up there again our conversation yesterday with Jared Luganville, previewing week 1 of the high school football season. Also, we have a little bit of a couple clips from our conversation with Kirk Herbstreit, talking about his time growing up in the Miami Valley, how he could not imagine doing what Quinn Ewers did. The thought of missing out on your senior season with your teammates, with your brothers, the guys you've grown so close with, the thought of leaving them behind just to go chase name, image, and likeness. He just couldn't fathom that. Great piece there. So go check it out. ESPN Dayton's YouTube channel. Plus, every Friday night, our high school football game of the week, the live stream, you'll be able to catch the audio there, the audio stream live on YouTube and Facebook as well. Hour 2, the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, coming up next.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
O'Reilly.
The professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts will help with all your car care needs. Whether you're shopping for parts, accessories, or supplies, we've got you covered. Right now, get Superior Cover-All Tire Shine 2 for $16. Plus, earn double O Rewards points. Keep your car looking like new. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Staying connected is important in today's world. Whether it's hearing the news of a new baby in the family or calling work to let your boss know you're running late, phone and internet service keep you connected with your world. At AT&T, we know that some Americans face life every day without the comfort and security of having a phone or internet service. In certain areas, you may be able to reduce your phone or internet bill with a Lifeline discount if you are in a qualifying low-income household. Additional discounts of up to $25 may be available to those living on federally recognized tribal lands where AT&T offers Lifeline. To find out more about Lifeline and other AT&T products and services, call us at 800-288-2020 or go to att.com/lifeline if you have access to the internet.
Lifeline is a government benefit program, and willfully making false statements to obtain this benefit is punishable by fine or imprisonment and could result in termination of Lifeline service. Lifeline enrollment requires certain eligibility documentation and is non-transferable. Limited to 1 discount per household. AT&T services, including Lifeline, are not available in all areas. Other restrictions apply.
Now at Menards, save big money on your next outdoor project with 11% off everything. Transform your worn-out deck in one day with rock-solid deck resurfacer. The one-coat cover
stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover guitar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Well, Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
I'm probably okay to have one more drink before I drive home. I'm probably okay. I open the window to stay alert. Probably okay. I just popped some gum in my mouth.
Step out of the car, please.
I probably made a mistake.
Probably okay isn't okay when it comes to drinking and driving. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Week 1 of the high school football season is officially here. The Centerville Elks welcome in the Fairfield Indians Friday night at 7 p.m. for the ESPN Dayton Glacier Softwater Game of the Week. Listen live at 1410 Wing AM or stream at wingam.com.
I'm probably okay to have one more drink before I drive home. I'm probably okay. I open the window to stay alert. Probably okay. I just popped some gum in my mouth.
Step out of the car, please.
I probably made a mistake.
Probably okay isn't okay when it comes to drinking and driving. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
College football playoffs, Browns, Bengals, Buckeyes, and more. Catch the Keith Byers Show Mondays at noon on 1410 ESPN Radio. WING 1410 Dayton's ESPN Radio.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash hanging out with you here on a Friday. Week 1 of the high school football season is officially upon us. And, of course, we'll be bringing you our Glacier Softwater High School Football Game of the Week coming up immediately following the show today. College Football Hall of Famer Keith Byers and myself, we will be live at Centerville High School for Fairfield and the Elks going head-to-head as we kick off the high school season and kick it off right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Speaking of kicking things off right now, I am just getting all these crazy smells in this studio. And no, it's not Kev. Crazy King Burritos is live with us here in studio, and they are feeding us. I have not eaten today. Yeah. So Crazy King Burritos, brand new spot, the first spot in the country,
United
correct?
States.
Very nice. Let me introduce you guys. First, I'm rude. I didn't even introduce you guys. What's your name, sir?
I'm Deshaun Davis.
Deshaun Davis, what's your name?
My name is Walter Jones.
Walter Jones. Now tell us a little bit about yourselves and your role with, again, Crazy King Burritos and why Dayton, why Fairborn to be exact.
Well, first of all, we chose Fairborn. We're from Dayton. We chose Fairborn. We had multiple locations to choose from, but somehow we was drawn to Fairborn, that location, because of everything that was around it. You had the base, you had the school, you had other things that was supported and actually get it really out there. So that's what made us go that route.
Now, again, you guys open at 10 a.m. location real quick on Colonel Glenn Highway, which, as we were talking about before going on the air, I spend a lot of time at Wright State University, so you're going to get a lot of that traffic over there as well. But for those of you who are out and about traveling in the Fairborn area, now you guys are officially opened, correct? I know my guy Kev with Hot 1029, he's going to be live at your guys' spot tomorrow. So tell it, Crazy King Burritos, tell us about these burritos. Why do people need to go try these burritos?
They're authentic burritos. The Crazy King burrito is our specialty. It comes with steak and shrimp. It's 14 inches. Comes with we have special sauces. It's just authentic. It's a different taste.
So here's the deal. I'm not
gourmet burritos.
Gourmet burritos. And I have a couple more questions, but I'm kind of in a hurry. I got to get to eat these burritos, man. They smell so freaking good. Now, I'm from El Paso, Texas, where when I go visit my family, it's the only time I get authentic Mexican food, and all I have been told is how this is as close to that as I'm going to get. And I know a lot of those, military men and women on the base, they're going to feel, a lot of military men and women from all around the country, too. They're going to enjoy that authentic Mexican taste of Crazy King burritos as well. So, again, we appreciate you guys coming in. Again, they're serving an authentic Mexican recipes that are quick, affordable, and super healthy. Everything is made fresh daily, correct?
Daily.
You said shrimp, right?
Made to
you guys
order.
have shrimp?
Yes. And made to order. Everything made to order.
All right, very cool, very cool. Well, I tell you what, we're going to be showing off all the food you guys brought in for us live on camera. Again, we're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube. I got to fill up. I got a high school football game to go call tonight. So, gentlemen, thanks, guys. You guys kick ass. I appreciate it.
We appreciate you.
Appreciate you. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon will be partly cloudy, a high near 86. Tonight will be mainly clear, a low near 68. And tomorrow will be partly cloudy and hot, a high near 90. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
At Allstate, we've been saying you're in good hands for a long time. But what exactly does that mean? Does it mean you're protected from life's uncertainties? Does it mean you can worry less and live a little more? Does it mean you're not alone, even when things get kind of hard? Actually, yes. Yes, it does. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Allstate and affiliates offer products and services subject to availability, terms, and conditions.
Hi, this is Eddie Sorrell, Body Shop Manager at Germain Honda of Beaver Creek. When you need a dependable body shop, we're here to help, repairing all makes and models. Our technicians have over 125 years experience. That means we can repair your vehicle quickly and efficiently. Our department is state-of-the-art with new equipment to get you back on the road quickly. We offer loaner cars during service and free estimates. Germain Honda of Beaver Creek, Route 35, just east of 675 between Xenia and Beaver Creek.
Hey, here to tell you about my friends at Cordell Transportation. They're now hiring Class A CDL drivers and offering a $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Home daily, dedicated lanes, and no-touch freight. Brand new equipment as well. Medical, dental, vision, and company-paid life insurance. Call Cody right now. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Life is already full of surprises, but your tuition shouldn't be one of them. While education costs rise in the U.S. every year, University of Phoenix is committed to protecting you from rising tuition costs with our tuition guarantee. We lock in your tuition so you can count on fixed, affordable tuition from the moment you enroll to the day you graduate from your program. Learn more at phoenix.edu.
This Labor Day, put an end to junk sleep. Right now at Mattress Firm, save up to $500 on our top-rated brands when you get a king bed for the price of a queen or a queen for a twin. Plus, get a free adjustable base when you spend $6.99 on Sealy. Or save up to 50% on hot buys from top brands like Sleepy's or Serta. With our highly trained sleep experts and our low price guarantee, you can rest assured you'll get the best bed at the best price. Unjunk your sleep, only at Mattress Firm. Offer valid with qualifying purchase. Restrictions apply. Valid at participating locations only. For offer details, visit mattressfirm.com/sale.
Napa know-how. Right now, a 5-quart jug of Napa full synthetic motor oil is just $18.99. It keeps your engine from breaking down without breaking the bank. Yep, a 5-quart jug of Napa full synthetic for $18.99 is not just a great deal. It's the break you've been waiting for. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating locations does not include state local taxes or recycling fees. Advertised sales price may not be available in some states. Offer ends 8/31/21.
Staples Connect has everything for back to school at amazing prices. Right now, Crayola 12-count colored pencils and 10+2 Crayola marker bonus packs and Staples 2-pack scissors are just 97 cents each. So your student won't just be ready for school. They'll be tons of drawings to hang on the fridge ready.
We're going to need a bigger refrigerator.
Visit your local Staples store or staples.com/back to school today and get more than ready for school. Ends 9/18. Limit 30 on Crayola. Limit 6 on scissors.
O'Reilly. Syntec is back and better than ever at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Syntec is a premium full synthetic motor oil at an affordable price. Right now, get 5 quarts of Syntec full synthetic and a Wix filter for just $31.99. Plus, earn double O Rewards points. Minimize friction, heat, and wear on your engine with Syntec full synthetic motor oil exclusively at
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Staples Connect has everything to help you get ready for back to school with amazing prices for everything on your list. Visit your local Staples store, staplesconnect.com, and be more than ready for school. Staples.
If you need new roofing, siding, or gutters, skylights, or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding in Fairborn has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Lance Roofing and Siding, 8460 Dayton Springfield Road in Fairborn. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722 or online at lanceroofing.com.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage and Rocket Companies. Last year, we saw historically low mortgage interest rates. What you may not know is that interest rates are already starting to increase, and it's likely that trend is only going to continue. Our team of experts is standing by to help you save before rates go up. Don't look back and wish that you had taken action. Call 833-8ROCKET or visit rocketmortgage.com.
Rocket. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states and MLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
At CDW, we get the people who need to sign here aren't always here.
Tell me about it. I'm always chasing down signatures. I go through pens and shoes like chewing gum.
Sounds like you need Adobe Sign orchestrated by CDW to securely automate e-signatures and workflows across devices from anywhere. Integrating with existing tools, Sign can save your organization time, money, and miles.
Thank goodness. I can finally take these shoes off.
No. Back on. IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/Adobe Sign.
Whether it's next day delivery or getting involved in their local communities, Napa goes above and beyond to serve you because their motor never quits. That's Napa know-how.
Hey everybody, it's Stephen A. Smith, and everyone knows my feelings on Cowboys fans. But really, Justin Kenner, you're a Cowboys fan and a Browns fan? Good Lord have mercy. I don't know what the hell to do with y'all. I really don't.
It's the Justin Kenner Show with Kev Nash. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio. On Twitter, make sure to give us a follow. Search 1410 Kenner for Justin Kenner on Twitter. That's 1410 KINNER. And ESPN Dayton for the station Twitter handle.
The Glacier Softwater High School Football Game of the Week every Friday night right here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. College Football Hall of Famer Keith Byers and myself will be on the call every Friday, bringing you some of the top matchups in the Miami Valley. And everything kicks off here tonight, Game 1 of our 10-week regular season Game of the Week season. Coming up, Centerville Elks welcome in the Fairfield Indians. That's coming up here later on tonight, 7 o'clock to kickoff. We go on right as kickoff happens, but make sure you keep it locked in here on our Facebook page. Listen at 1410 Wing AM, but if you can't be around the radio or what have you, can't make it to one of the top games of the area tonight, well, that's fine. Find us at wingam.com or on Facebook. We're going to be carrying the digital audio stream right there, so make sure you check that out. Wingam.com, the Justin Kenner Show on Facebook, ESPN Dayton's Facebook page, ESPN Dayton on YouTube. There's no excuse not to tune in to the Glacier Softwater High School Football Game of the Week. All right, so look, if sports gambling was allowed here in the state of Ohio, I would partake. Yeah. There's dumber things I lose my money on. So why not? Why wouldn't I? But my thing is, I went to go check the schedule for the NFL. And I noticed they actually have lines on these preseason games. Ugh. Now, these guys in Vegas, they know what they're doing. They know exactly. So, but my thing is the preseason is being run so differently right now. Like, I'm adamant on don't play starters in the preseason. Like, everyone, I keep hearing people out there say, no, they need to get snaps. They need to get snaps. You cannot convince me that playing your starters for one, let me rephrase what I'm saying here. You either don't play them at all or you play them a lot, no in between. Because you're not going to convince me that Tom Brady last week against the Bengals, did Tom Brady get better by that one drive that resulted in the 3-and-out? So that's what I mean by that. Like you're going to get these guys padded up, suited up. You're going to run them out there for one series and then they're sitting. Like I think that's a waste of time. It's a waste of Tom Brady's time. It's a waste of everybody's time. Like that's why I'm saying like you either play them a good full quarter, a full half, 3 quarters, all 4, which you don't even need all 4. I'm perfectly fine with not seeing any starters at all in any preseason game. Maybe the rookies. Like I don't mind the Bengals playing Jamar Chase a lot. Like I think he needs reps out there against a different opposing defense than what he's been going up in practice. So guys like that, but then it's unfortunate because again, you look at Joseph Ossai, who was absolutely dominant for the Bengals in that first preseason game. He's out. He got hurt. And I don't blame Zach Taylor. I don't blame anyone for that. Injuries happen, but they do happen. But my thing is this, if you're going to lose a player for a good chunk of time, if you're going to lose a player for a season, it better be him going down in the heat of battle in games that count. It's one thing if you lose them in practice, but to lose them in a preseason game that you're basically just throwing guys out there because you feel the pressure of having to because you're on national TV or the fans are there. I'm just not a fan of this. I love that these lines are on here. No one's playing starters, or at least the younger head coaches are not playing starters in the league. Zach Taylor's been kind of mixing some in and out. Stefanski hasn't played any for the Browns, or at least like the main guys. But then you look at Bill Belichick playing starters deep into the preseason game. You look at, Andy Reid doing that too, minus, of course, Patrick Mahomes a little bit. Of course, look at the Bucs with Bruce Arians doing the same thing. Those old school coaches, they still see value in playing starters in preseason. I see absolutely none. And I think those who are fans of Joseph Ossai can attest to that. Where do you sit on this? Because you can't convince me that 1 or 2 drives in the preseason makes them better. I can't. You will not be able to convince me.
I think it goes from team to team. I don't think we can do a blanket statement to say like all across every team in the league, no starters should play or all starters should play. I think it's on a team to team basis off of how your team is operating. Like if you have a young football team, I think you need to get as many reps as possible. If they're preseason reps, obviously the reps that you're doing in practice count, but those reps in a real game on the actual field of play that you're going to be playing football games on, like a practice field and an NFL stadium have 2 different vibes. So if I have a young football team, full of first and second and third year players, I want them to get as many reps as possible. If you're a team like the
scoot to your left real quick. We're getting that on the feed.
Okay.
They want to see you. They want to see you.
You see me, Mom?
A little bit more to your left. There we go. Okay. All right. That's dope. His shirt says dope.
So if like a team like the New England Patriots, they're implementing not a new system, but they have a lot of new guys on the team. Like they revamped their entire roster through free agency and through the draft. So these guys don't have necessarily that cohesiveness that other teams have, or they weren't so cohesive like they had when they had Tom Brady there. So this team is new with a lot of new parts. So I think they need as many reps as possible. Now we're talking about the Super Bowl champions who's returning all 22 starters. I don't think we need to see anybody out there. If I'm Bruce Arians, I'm like, all right, well, let's get all these rookies. Let's get all these guys that are going to be on the practice squad. Let's get them a whole bunch of reps in the preseason games because we're putting our Hall of Fame quarterback in a bubble. We're putting Mike Evans, Antonio Brown, and Godwin. You guys are going in bubble wrap. You guys are not being touched in practice nor in the preseason games. Matter of fact, y'all not even dressing for the preseason game. So I think it varies from team to team. I think a situation when you have a young quarterback like a Kyler Murray, and you just added a AJ Green, you got, Christian Kirk, and you got Rondale Moore. Is it raining?
You heard that too? That's
It
why
is raining.
it is raining. But it's the curse of the
football.
Are you ready for some football? But yeah, so when you were talking, my ADD was like, that sounds like rain, but there's no chance of rain today, but it's raining. So there you go. Continue.
But no, that's just how I feel. Like, I think it just varies from team to team. Like, if you take a look at like the Minnesota Vikings, I'm not necessarily sure that they need a whole bunch of guys, especially on offense, taking a lot of reps in preseason. Like they're returning a lot of guys on offense. Like even the Browns, like I'm not sure those guys need reps on offense. Now the defense, on the other hand, where you have a bunch of new parts, I think they need reps on the field. So I'm not ready to go with a blanket statement and say the entire league needs to be out there or the entire league doesn't need to be out there. I think it varies like from team to team, and especially you have a bunch of new guys on your team, like the Cleveland Browns defense. I think they need to be out there a lot, getting some reps, getting, implemented to the system.
Yeah, and that's kind of the big picture. And I like he said, it's a different situation for each team because if Joe Burrow doesn't go down last year, but with the season-ending injury, I don't think there would be any need to overprotect him in the preseason. I would like to see him out there to get some reps with, Jamar Chase and those guys heading into the season. He's going to have that timing maybe down from practice, but you can't replicate game speed in practice, even if it's going full speed against the defense. Even the defense knows that the full speed in practice is not game speed,
especially for your quarterback. Like he's only full speed he's at is taking a snap, dropping back, and throwing passes. He's not being rushed at full speed because you got to put on the brakes as a defensive end or a blitzing linebacker because they got on the green jersey. Don't touch the quarterback. But in a preseason game, it's go. Everything's a go. So, like, I will want those type of reps, especially for a young quarterback. The guys like Ben Roethlisberger, Peyton Manning, even though he's already retired, Tom Brady, they don't need that. They know what it feels like to be rushed by a linebacker. They know what the blind side hit feels like. They don't need none of that. Those dudes need to go ahead and sit on the bench until the first game of the season. So young guys, they need to be out there a ton. And teams that have a lot of new moving parts on their team, I think those guys need reps.
So this was a report from Browns camp yesterday. Again, these were some takeaways from the Browns 16th training camp practice yesterday. Again, the Browns, they'll be in preseason action coming up this weekend. In fact, they won't even play until Sunday. It'll be a 1:00 kick against the Giants. The Browns are 5.5-point favorites for whatever that means. But here's a report from their camp. Apparently, and this is according to ESPN's Jake Trotter, who does a great job covering the Browns. He tweeted out that I don't want to send the Cleveland hype train barreling out of control here, but the Browns have completely dominated the Giants in the first of their 2 joint practices. That's just what happened on both sides of the ball. Jarvis Landry absolutely obliterated the New York Giants secondary. In the first scrimmage session alone, he had 3 catches for 70-plus yards, including a one-handed stab down the middle of the field, and, of course, paid homage to OBJ against his former team. So, so there's that. But here's where – and then – on the defensive side, it says moments before that, the Browns tight ends went one-on-one against the Giants DBs, and David Njoku absolutely dominated. He was basically unstoppable, underscored by a leaping touchdown grab over former Browns safety Jabril Peppers. So there's that. Here's where I'm concerned for the Browns. Well, one more positive note here. Greg Newsome, again, ended practice yesterday by picking off Daniel Jones on their 2-minute drill attempt. Mm-hmm. The secondary has been absolutely lights out. They've been absolutely lights out for the Browns throughout camp, even in just inter-squad scrimmages against the Giants. They've been on fire. So that's good to hear. That's where I figured I knew their strength. Their weakness last year was their secondary. Their strength this year is going to be their secondary. How much that carries them, it's all going to depend on, well, the pass rush up front. But here's the problem. OBJ, I know, is a wide receiver, but hear me out. OBJ, sidelined with injuries. He hasn't practiced. Myles Garrett, Clowney, Denzel, MJ Stewart, Redwine, Schwartz, Delpit, Fields, they were all on bike crew. They're not getting a lot of time out on the field. OBJ's been getting some workouts and sprints in between drills. Him and Baker throw off to the side. They work on a lot of their, timing, and they do a lot of their, drills on the side. But OBJ hasn't been padded up and hasn't been out there taking some hits yet. Myles Garrett's missed a lot of time. Jadeveon Clowney's missed some time. Typical Denzel Ward's missed some time. He's in midseason form. So there you go. Now, that was yesterday's. To prove I am not a Bengals homer or a Browns homer, no one says I'm a Bengals homer. To prove I am not a Browns homer that only reports the positive, I talked about how dominant they were yesterday. Today, Kev, that is not the case. The Giants have been fired up, according to Jake Trotter, and they are literally taking it to the Browns so far today. It has not been a good practice for the Cleveland Browns today against the New York Giants, which, okay, I put as much stock into that report as I do about the positive, because all I took from that previous positive report from yesterday, that Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney aren't on the field. And that's great about Newsome, and it's great about the secondary, but it's also Daniel Jones and the Giants are in the NFC least. So, but no, it's nice to see them kind of having success against an opposing team as opposed to against their own offense or defense. So I'll take that. I like these. I'm taking more away from this inter-squad or from this Giants scrimmage than I am the actual preseason game coming up this weekend, because the starters are going at it. The key weapons are going at it. That's what matters. I'm a Baker guy. There's been no negative reports about him all camp. They said this is the best camp he's had in the last 3 years in Cleveland. This is his 4th camp. This is the best camp he's ever had. He looks settled in. He looks comfortable. He's not absorbing a whole new offense for the first time. This is the first camp in his 3 years in the league, now entering his 4th. This is his first camp that he is not absorbing a whole new playbook, that he is not relearning the cadences and everything. This is just picking up where he left off last year, and it's showing. Plus his work ethic in the offseason, he's in the best shape he's ever been in. They said he's in even better shape than last year. Yes, this is the Browns Homer Network. I get it. But that's great news if you're a Cleveland fan, because I was a little worried. The last time this team had success with Baker after his rookie year, they didn't handle it well. He got fat. He got cocky. He ran his mouth too much. And it showed the next year when he had no clue what the hell was going on. It seems like a different Baker. This seems like a different Browns team. Kevin Stefanski doing a great job with Cleveland. But what's your take? Like, I don't care what happens to the preseason game on Sunday. I think that these camp reports are more important than the results of preseason games.
A couple things. To be fair about OBJ, he's coming off a pretty tough injury. So to expect him to be out there at full speed, practicing every single day, that's anybody thinking like, oh, man, he needs to be out there with his teammates, putting in the work. Like, he's taking his time as he should, because like you said, the real games that matter are in the regular season. And if he has a setback in practice because he's pushing himself too hard and he's not out there for the regular season, then everybody's gonna be like, well, what's going on with the medical staff? So OBJ taking his time, I'm all with that. That's a smart move by him and the Brown staff. As far as, Jadeveon Clowney and Denzel Ward, what else is new? Like, the dudes stay hurt. And, I've always tried to believe that, injuries are something that you just can't help. And it truly are. But I do understand when people use the term injury prone about some dudes, because some dudes just seem like they're always hurt. Like Denzel Ward seems like he's always hurt. Jadeveon Clowney is always hurt. He's always unavailable. So that is always going to be a concern for guys that seem to always have that injury bug. Myles Garrett, he'll be fine. I believe he'll be fine. Like, this could be him, toning it down during the preseason. You could feel that tweak in the hamstring. Like, I don't want it to go all the way, because if it goes all the way, then I'm going to really be out. So I think it'll be a situation like that. So these practices have been awesome, for a lot of teams out there. I mean, I'm not sure if this is or isn't a thing, but I'm sure seeing a lot of fights with these inter-squad scrimmages. And I'm not sure if these inter-squad scrimmages, there's been more this year. I'm not sure if they haven't, but I started to think like, okay, there's only 3 preseason games this year. So preseason game 2 is going to be like any other year's third preseason game. So I'm expecting the starters to play more in this second game. I'm guessing, because in the normal year, they would be playing more in the third game, right? And then basically they let all the guys that they're going to cut the very next day go get their run in the sun and everything like that. So these fights that are going on, I'm surprised we don't get that more. I'm surprised we haven't seen more fights, to be perfectly honest. Like, these guys have been wound up. They've been at OTAs, practice against their guys. They've been doing practice against their guys. And they finally get to go up against another person, because, no matter how hard you go in practice and you may scuffle with your teammate, you're not trying to, quote unquote, kill your teammate. Yep. But somebody that got a different color jersey on, a different helmet on, he's not getting coached by my coach. He's not in the same locker room as mine. Oh, it's go time. I've been holding back. I've been holding back in practice because I know this is my teammate and I need this offensive tackle to protect my quarterback. So I'm not going to go out there and raise hell. But now, I know Myles Garrett is out, but like, if he was out there, he's going to go hurt somebody. And he's trying to hurt somebody, because this is football. So I'm not sure how long these inter-squad scrimmages are going to last, because all it's going to take is for somebody to get hurt from another player in one of these inter-squad scrimmages, and then we'll have the competition committee having a meeting about it. Like, hey, we got a Nick say on that, man, because my so-and-so starting quarterback got hurt and we went 5-12 last year. Nobody wants to see that.
Yeah, and when you hear different coaches talk about these, split practices, so the Browns have been practicing with the Giants, and, they're going to go head-to-head on Sunday for their preseason game. That'll be a 1:00 kickoff. The Bengals they don't have any split practices that I'm aware of. When I talked to Jay Morrison a week and a half ago, he said just due to COVID, they didn't even really pursue that. And I think it's a team-by-team, case-by-case basis.
Imagine what it could have did the Colts, right? It's so close to Indianapolis.
I mean, and I'm sure, yeah. And like the last time they left Cincinnati, poor Welcome Stadium got a lot of negative PR. AJ Green hasn't been the same ever since, but apparently AJ Green's returning to form in Arizona. Yeah, whatever. Like I said yesterday, AJ Green's going to be good with Arizona because he is going to be good for his new role. AJ Green will not be a number one wide receiver there. AJ Green was always going to look like he was taking a step back in Cincinnati because he was no longer a number one wide receiver in Cincinnati, but the Bengals kept trying to use him as the number one wide receiver. And I think that altered the expectation of him. I think by going to Arizona and just being a solid wide receiver there, everyone's going to say, oh man, he's returned to no, he's not returning to normal. His play is matching his expectations.
His new normal.
To where in Cincinnati, the expectation was to be the number one, Boyd 2, and then you had T. Higgins last year. So everyone thought it was going to be, basically what it is this year, just with Jamar Chase and AJ Green, swapping there. So that's why I'm not going to buy into that. Everyone's like, oh, so the Bengals just weren't using him correct. No, the Bengals were using him as the number one, or they were at least looking to him to still be their number one. And that's just not who he is anymore. And Hopkins is the number one at Arizona. And A.J. Green fits perfectly in that offense over there because if that's your third best wide receiver, that's pretty good damn lineup. That's a pretty good offense right there. We'll see what the Cardinals and Kyler Murray can do with all those fun new weapons that he has around him. So the Bengals tonight are in action preseason, and so they have Washington. No Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow will not play tonight. Don't blame him, especially after that's where the scene of the crime was last time. Washington, for what it's worth, is a 5.5-point favorite against the Bengals. How much of the starters do you think you'll see? Oh, by the way, tickets are as low as $5 for that matchup. Actually, I'm curious. So hold on.
StubHub.
Hit some NFL music, would you? All right. So Kevin Nash is going to guess.
Here we go.
The ticket prices for these preseason games. Free. So tonight, the Chiefs and the Cardinals. It's an 8:00 kickoff. Over-unders at 41. We don't care about that. It's an 8:00 kickoff. The Chiefs are at the Cardinals. Tickets are as low as what for Chiefs-Cardinals preseason?
It's in Arizona?
In Arizona.
$2.
$20.
What?
$20
well,
to watch Patrick Mahomes pace the sideline.
It's in Arizona. It's hot as all get out there. I'm sure they got good AC in the building, so it's a place to go for AC. Okay, I can see that.
All right, up next, I just told you Bengals and Washington football team. By the way, they put out the list of the potential names that they could be. They're staying the Washington football team.
I like the football team.
But anyway, so to attend Washington-Cincinnati game, $5 is the lowest ticket price there. That's interesting. All right, so last night the Patriots and Eagles played. Don't care about that. So the Bills and Justin Fields and the Bears. This game is in Chicago. Tickets are as low as what, Kev Nash?
$12.
Give you one more.
Oh, man.
We'll go higher.
Higher or lower?
Higher.
$22.
And then you went past it. $19. Tickets are as low as $19 at Soldier Field for tonight's Bears-Bills preseason game. So there you go. By the way, Mitch Trubisky, a backup quarterback for the Bills, and he's going to get some nice time out on the field tonight.
You think he gives booze tonight?
He should not get booed. My thing is this. If a guy doesn't leave on bad terms, if he didn't live up to expectations, like you can't, like he got you to a playoff game. Like I don't boo him. I wouldn't boo him. The Bears have never had a franchise quarterback, ever.
Mm-mm.
You don't get to boo. If you want to boo your franchise, and the Bears are a historic franchise. Like they're not like because of that defense. I mean, they're more known for everything but their offense, of course. I mean, their most explosive playmaker was what, Hester, a special teams player. Like, let's be real here. Like the Bears have never had a franchise quarterback. So to sit here and to boo Mitch Trubisky tonight, I think would be ridiculous. I'll frown upon that if they do that. I don't think Trubisky did anything wrong. It's not his fault that he was drafted where he shouldn't have been. It's kind of of like how I am with Jackson Carman. I feel bad for Jackson Carman. He's getting beat up a lot by guys like me and everyone else. He is who he is. That's who Jackson Carman is, doing exactly what he was expected to do. Not be a elite offensive lineman as a rookie. But the Bengals put him in that position to be viewed as that, to get criticized. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. So at Lambeau Field tonight, the Packers welcome in the Jets. Jets. The Jets are a 2.5-point favorite against Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field. Tickets are as low as what to go to Lambeau Field and watch the Jets and Pack?
$30.
This one surprised me. It's low.
Really?
Yep.
How low?
How low can you go?
$15.
$10.
Really?
I would, by the way, if I lived within a couple hours of that, I would go to a preseason. I would go to Lambeau, pay $10 just to have a beer at Lambeau.
Yeah.
I did a tour of Lambeau years ago. It's fantastic. It's so freaking cool. I can't remember the capacity there. How many they could seat, but it's bleacher seating in the entire stadium. And the guy that was giving us the tour said that like they have so many people willing to donate a ton of money to be able to like kind of redo the inside of Lambeau, to be able to get bucket seating and stuff. They said no, they can't, because if they put regular seats in, they would lose about 2,000 to 3,000 seats in the whole stadium. So that's why they keep the bleacher seats there. So there you go. Thought that was interesting.
Very.
Falcons, Dolphins. The Dolphins are a 5-point favorite. This game is in Miami at Hard Rock Stadium. It's 91 degrees tonight this is tomorrow. I'm sorry, tomorrow, 7 o'clock kickoff. Falcons, Dolphins. Tickets are as low as
$8.
Very close. $7.
Close enough.
Folks, if you're just tuning in, I just found it interesting that I was looking at the schedule for this weekend, they had the money line on there, and I'm like, that's ridiculous. And then they also had the ticket prices. I'm like, this is kind of interesting, seeing what these tickets are going for these preseason games. Ravens, Panthers, games at Carolina. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. Actually, Lamar Jackson, I think, is the only familiar Raven on the roster that's available to play and should not play tonight or tomorrow night. But the Ravens are at the Panthers, Kev. Again, you're going to get to see Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, I read today, they want to see a lot of him. They want to get him a good feel of the offense. Baltimore, 3.5-point favorite. Tickets are as low as
$8.
$12. What? Preseason
amazing
football.
that people would pay that much for a preseason game.
Wait, you think that's high?
Yes. I'm not look, man. Like you said, Lamar shouldn't play, and the main reason he shouldn't play is because there's no Hollywood Brown, there's no Rashad Bateman, there's no Sammy Watkins. So the guys that I'm going to be throwing to aren't playing, so he shouldn't play either. So if I'm not going to be seeing Lamar Jackson, I'm not paying. I'm not paying, especially if I'm a fan of the Baltimore Ravens. I'm not paying to see Sam Darnold, even though I think Sam Darnold is going to be good this year. I don't care about him. I don't care what he's doing. I want to see my team. And if I'm not about to see Lamar Jackson run and throw passes to the guys that I'm expecting him to, I wouldn't go.
Well, I will say this. So the Bengals tickets are $5, but that's at Washington. We live in Dayton. Mm-hmm. If I had nothing to do tonight, like if we didn't have high school football and tickets at Paul Brown were $5, I would go. I'm not a Bengals fan, but to me, I look at sporting events as just an experience. Events themselves, like to sit in an NFL stadium and just watch a game, and you might be familiar with some of the players. I mean, if I can go watch the Dragons, and it's no disrespect to the Dragons, but like, I don't know who the heck these guys are. I could read I could read their bios and stuff and know who, but if I'm paying money, it's about that same price for Dragons games too, to go watch a bunch of players you don't know, but it's because you're going to take in the experience of a ball game. And I think that's what this comes down to. That's why I said for Lambeau, $10 at Lambeau Field for the Jets and the Pack. If I lived within an hour, 2 hours, and I had nothing to do, I would drive to Lambeau for $10 tickets, because you know what you're not going to get in the regular season? $10 Lambeau tickets. So
I wonder if the people in Green Bay, Wisconsin view it the same way as we do. Like, we view Lambeau Field, oh man, that would be awesome. Like when Wisconsin gets a game at Lambeau Field, like it's big news, is everybody's tuning in to see, a college team play on an NFL field and everything like that, because it's Lambeau, and the NFC Championship game or at Lambeau Field. Like, do the fans of the Green Bay Packers get excited the same way that we do as people that don't live there?
Well, I think there's always going to be a pocket of people that do. I mean, for instance, I paid $10 to go to the spring game every year at the Shoe. and I'm not going to watch I'm going to watch Ohio State, but you're going to take in the Ohio State. But college is a little different because college is an experience. That's why you go to the shoe regardless of who they're playing. And that's why that shoe is sold out every week, regardless of who they're playing. UD Arena, same thing. That's an experience. I poke fun at who they bring into to the arena every year to play, but until UD fans stop showing up to the arena to watch them play the school of whoever, at the end of the day, if UD doesn't want to reward their fans with better games throughout the regular season, their fans are going to go no matter what. So there's no pressure on the administration there to put better games at the arena because they're like, well, why just bring these crap teams in? They're easy to schedule. Mm-hmm. They can't wait to come here. Our fans can't wait to come here. Sign the dotted line and boom, off you go. So that's basically what it comes down to. Okay, going down. How about Pittsburgh? Here you go. You're a Steelers fan. You live in Pittsburgh. They have a preseason game tonight. The mighty Lions are in town.
Jared Goff.
Penei Sewell, baby. All right, so the Lions in town in Pittsburgh tomorrow night, 7:30, the kickoff at Heinz Field. Pittsburgh is a 6.5-point favorite. Tickets are as low as what, Kev?
$20.
$15.
I'm over on all these. I'll be terrible on prices, right?
Defending Super Bowl champions, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Raymond James Stadium, welcoming the Tennessee Titans. And the Titans a little feisty lately. They've been getting in some fights at practice. Titans Bucks tomorrow night, 7:30 as well from Raymond James Stadium. Tampa Bay a 1-point favorite. Tickets are as low as what?
$10.
$17.
Really?
$17. Yep. Dang. Texans, Cowboys.
Have I gotten any right?
No, you've been within a couple. The Houston Texans, their inaugural season in the NFL, their very first team they ever played was the Dallas Cowboys, and that's who they play in this preseason matchup. The Texans actually, I think, somehow, some way are worse now than what they were that very first year in the NFL. They actually beat the Cowboys. That's the crappy thing about that. As a Cowboys fan, I was so embarrassed. Emmitt Smith was still on the Cowboys whenever the Texans. Can you believe that? The Texans are the newest NFL team, Kev. But when they broke their first game ever in the NFL, they beat Emmitt Smith's Dallas Cowboys.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a long 2000.
That's a long time ago.
It's early 2000s. I can't remember what year exactly, but it was early 2000s. Cowboys are a 3.5-point favorite. This is at Jerry's World, AT&T Stadium. This one's funny. Tickets are as low as what, Kev?
I'm going to be a jerk, but I'm going to say $30.
$7.
What?
$7.
Those people love the Dallas Cowboys. They can't wait to give Jerry Jones more money.
Big ass stadium.
Yeah.
They're all big stadium. Do they have the highest capacity in the league?
Let's see what Google says.
All right, you look that up. Vikings, Colts, 8 o'clock kickoff tomorrow night, US Bank Stadium. Again, we don't really care who wins these games. Minnesota, somehow, they've declared a 2-point favorite. Minnesota is going to be 1-0 after week 1 of the regular season. But the Vikings are hosting the Colts at US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Kev, tickets, this is funny too. Tickets are as low as what?
$15.
Colts, Vikings, $3. If we had a sports talk show, if we were doing this show in Minnesota, I would just use my own money to buy a bunch of tickets to give away on the show. $3. I mean, my goodness, for $50, you could take the whole family. That's why, that's great. You could take the whole family for $3. It's cheaper to go to a Vikings game tonight than it is to a high school football game. Think about that. It is if we had an NFL, I'm curious. The Bengals have a home game next week, right? I'm assuming they do because they haven't played at home yet. So I'm curious what the Bengals ticket prices would be for that preseason game. But yeah, the Vikings, $3. What'd you look up?
I looked up MetLife Stadium in New York, who the Jets and the Giants, they play there. 82,500. That's the largest stadium in the NFL. Jerry's World holds 80,000
for football games. Yeah,
for football.
Because I know for WrestleMania, they always Jerry's World. That's the most fans they've ever had at a WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, they put out 100 seats on the field.
WrestleMania. I read an article one time that said one of the they did MetLife in New York, and they said they experimented with doing that over on the East Coast, and obviously risking that the weather could be really cold, but they had such success with it that they were looking at some other non-traditional spots for WrestleMania, and the Shoe was at the top of their list. That they would love to look at the Shoe in Columbus. That's a weird city they won't do it, but it was interesting that the Shoe popped up on the top 10 list of cities that WrestleMania has never been to, that they're kicking the tires on just based on capacity. You could fit about 110 at the Shoe for WrestleMania. But again, in April, I guess you go to a spring game.
Yeah.
Bundle up. No biggie.
Hopefully it doesn't rain.
All right. So the highest, holy moly. Broncos Seahawks. You want to go to a game at the Seahawks tonight or Saturday night? They have the Broncos. Denver is a 5-point favorite. Tickets are as low as
$10.
$29.
This is the worst game I've ever played in my life, but I just can't understand why somebody would pay that much for a ticket.
Oh, well, then you're in for a treat. So the last one, this is the most expensive ticket of all the preseason games. The Raiders are at the Rams. Kettering is at Kettering. Actually, no, it's the LA and Las Vegas, so I'm way off there. But anyway, SoFi Stadium in California, the Rams are the home team. The Raiders, are a 6.5-point favorite on the road. Well, tickets are as low as what?
Well, considering SoFi Stadium costs $5 billion to make, because I just got that from this article I read about stadium sizes, I'm going to say tickets are $40.
$66. So if you want to go watch the Rams,
where's the dump button
in Los Angeles? If you want to go watch the Rams on Saturday night to play the Raiders in a preseason game, you would have to fork over $66. Or you can go to Minnesota and watch the Vikings and Colts for $3. That's
to watch Jalen Ramsey probably play on his phone on the sidelines.
Maybe he'll show up in a helicopter like he did at practice a few years ago. All right, so we knew it would be an adjustment in the NFL for Urban Meyer as far as evaluating, how to build a roster, but I didn't think it would be this difficult for him to name a quarterback. When we come back, Urban Meyer has an interesting update regarding the starter for his Jacksonville Jaguars in the NFL. Don't go anywhere. More of the Justin Kinder Show with Kev Nash next.
It's the Justin Kinder Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
Greatness. It's not born of coincidence. It's not a product of luck. It's forged through dedication, drills, and the acquisition of new skills. Wanting won't get you there, but sweat equity just might.
Timothy's Bar and Grill on Brown Street wants to wish the Dayton Flyers Red Scare the best of luck in their journey through the basketball tournament. Wear red, be loud, go Flyers!
Hi, John Glazer here for Glazier Soft Water. We've been making water great since 1988, and no matter what your water issues, we have solutions. Your city water can be clear, but still be hard and have the taste and odor of chlorine. Well water can look, smell, and taste terrible. Glazier Soft Water will fix your water and will even include a 7-year parts and labor warranty so you don't have to worry. Visit our website to learn more at glaziersoftwater.com. Glazier Water really is better water.
Napa know-how.
Right now, a 5-quart jug of Napa full synthetic motor oil is just $18.99. It keeps your engine from breaking down without breaking the bank. Yep, a 5-quart jug of Napa full synthetic for $18.99 is not just a great deal. It's the break you've been waiting for. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating locations does not include state local taxes or recycling fees. Advertised sales price may not be available in some states. Offer ends 8/31/21.
Staples Connect has everything for back to school at amazing prices. Right now, Crayola 12-count colored pencils and 10+2 Crayola marker bonus packs and Staples 2-pack scissors are just 97 cents each. So your student won't just be ready for school. They'll be tons of drawings to hang on the fridge ready.
We're going to need a bigger refrigerator.
Visit your local Staples store or staples.com/back to school today and get more than ready for school. Ends 9/18. Limit 30 on Crayola. Limit 6 on scissors.
Your experience matters. At University of Phoenix, relevant life experience and eligible transfer credits can help you earn your degree faster and for less. In fact, undergrads who apply these credits, on average, save about 1 year and $11,000. Get the credit you deserve for time spent in the classroom, on the job, and in life. And see how much you can save at phoenix.edu. That's phoenix.edu.
Folks, fair season's here, but we've not forgotten about your fur babies, horses, feathered friends. We carry a huge variety of feeds and seeds to meet their needs. Also bedding to keep them warm on cold winter nights. Discounts for veterans, first responders, Farm Bureau members. Homestead Feed and Supply, New Carlisle. Tell them the Colonel sent you.
Spicy chicken nuggets. We didn't say Wendy's, but you probably thought Wendy's because when it comes to spicy nuggets, Wendy's is the only answer. Order yours today at participating U.S. Wendy's.
Attention men under the age of 35. You know what really impresses the ladies? When a guy has a few drinks and later gets pulled over for buzz driving. That could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. There goes let's grab dinner and a movie. Oh, I know. You drive more carefully when you're buzzed. You've proven that hundreds of times. A woman admires that kind of confidence. And you've practiced how to speak if a cop does pull you over. Slowly, clearly, and politely like, "Good evening, officer." A woman admires that kind of foresight. And what woman doesn't find it adorable that you call it buzzed even though the law calls it drunk? You can kiss $10,000 goodbye, along with any chance of having a girlfriend. Because nothing says I'm a catch more than a guy who lives in his parents' basement and calls it my place.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Well, Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
The Reds are on the radio.
Every hit, every strikeout, every Reds victory. You can catch all of the action all season long right here on Dayton's home of the Reds, 1410 ESPN Radio. Whether you're at home, at work, or in your car, tune in to ESPN 1410 Wing AM or stream us live at wingam.com.
The ESPN Dayton Glacier Softwater High School football game of the week with Kev Nash scooting to his left so that he's in the camera. Coming up later on tonight, 7 o'clock, the kickoff. College Football Hall of Famer Keith Byers and myself will be live at Centerville High School as the Elks welcome in the Fairfield Indians. Now, apparently they are doing the camo jerseys tonight. Mm-hmm. Really cool. Got to see a preview of them just a little bit ago. I'm really happy. We got the rosters and it said the camo jerseys on the side, so it's pretty neat. Looking forward to that. So looking forward to that. 7 o'clock, again, the kickoff. All of that at halftime. We'll hear from Kirk Herbstreit, so excited about that. We'll also hear from Skip Mossick as he brings us his high school halftime report as well. So we have a loaded up night for you here on 1410 Wing AM. The Reds got back in the win category last night, and actually their bats came alive. So that was a good thing. I mean, that's something we'll talk about here more so in a moment. But it is weird. Usually at this time of year, I'm over the Reds. I'm done. And I might have overreacted a little bit with my little rant the other day about basically just cutting them out, because somehow, some way, the Reds are a game out of a playoff spot right now, which is awesome. As critical as I am, at the end of the day, your job is to make the playoffs. Your job is to, get to the postseason and let the chips fall where they may. But I would much rather be a team with flaws in the playoff hunt than where the Reds have been for so long over this past decade. So I do need to be better. I do need to work on not being so negative. So I will work on that. But at the end of the day, I'm going to look at the glass as being half full right now, because even with their flaws, even with the Eugenio for 3 being as bad as he is, at the end of the day, the Reds right now, a game out of the playoff spot. And again, about a month ago, I'd never thought that it would be through the wild card that they're getting it done. But the Brewers, kudos to the Brewers, by the way. I kept finding ways to discredit them, but man, they win, and they win consistently, and that's the Reds just aren't consistent enough. I think that the Reds have similar talent. I just don't think they have the depth, and I don't think they're as consistent. I think there's a lot of inconsistencies with how they play. I still think that's based on how they're managed by David Bell, but I don't want to get into a rant like that today. David Bell does just enough to get them in position where they're at, but I also think that he does a lot to basically have them in this position. That's my point. He has them in this point, yes, but are you happy with this point? because I believe that the ceiling is higher for this team. I believe that this team could be better. So when people say, well, David Bell at least has them at this point, that's my problem. David Bell's why they're at this point. David Bell's why they're not further along. You have no idea how many people that I talk to that constantly say, like the Reds, if you look at some of their biggest offensive explosion nights, the lineup's not even close to being what it was the next day. It's like if it's not broke, don't fix it. And every time David Bell finds a lineup that just produces heavily one night, he totally revamps it the next night. And I'm like, I can't defend that. I don't care what analytic nerd out there is telling him to do this. It doesn't make any sense. Imagine if you have a starting five in basketball and they're averaging 110 points per game. And then you say, well, the analytics showed that these guys struggle against this team. We're going to change it up. And then they do struggle against that team, but the team struggles against that team because you put less talented players out there. That's what I'll never understand about baseball. Yes, even in the NBA, Kev, like I'm sure if we went through that there might be teams that LeBron is not as dominant against as others. Mm-hmm. If it was baseball, he would sit on those nights. And that, like, sure, like, oh, his average isn't good. He's not very good against left. Okay, but if he's as good a player as you say he is, let him hit through those situations. You can't sit there and convince me that David Bell pays attention to numbers so much that he has to constantly do double switches to favor the matchup, but yet ignores the numbers of Eugenio for 3 on a night in, night out basis, hitting 176, and then has him in the lineup every night, but yet preaches the importance of, well, we got to play so-and-so tonight because of the matchup. Oh, what's the matchup show? Well, the matchup shows he's better against lefties. The average for the other guy is too low for us to play him tonight. Meanwhile, Eugenio Suarez hitting 176 on the year, pretty much in the lineup every night. That's why that drives me nuts.
Okay, so Milwaukee, they lead the Reds by 8.5 games. Looks like Milwaukee's going to win the division.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say. Yep. So, I mean, we've seen epic collapses before. Injuries can happen, what have you. But, I would say it's a safe bet that the Reds don't win the division.
So, according to ESPN, the Reds have a 44% chance of making the playoffs. And the San Diego Padres only have a 41.8% chance of making the playoffs. So, that's kind of it's them or the Padres. It's the Reds or the Padres. Yeah, who would you put your money on?
Right now, I mean, I'm not a Padres aficionado, and I don't want to just spew some BS just to sound like...
Now, going into the season, if I was to tell you that the Padres will be fighting for their playoff lives and the Reds will be fighting for their playoff lives, who will be the quote-unquote disappointment?
Oh, the Padres, just because of how much the amount of money they put in that roster, especially with how much they paid Tatis Jr. Right. But he's been out, he's been injured. So there's that aspect of it. The Reds 66 and 57, 8.5 games back in the Central. And you look at the wild card, they're right there with the Padres. The Padres have the second hardest schedule remaining in baseball, and the Reds have the second easiest schedule remaining in baseball.
Back on that.
So, but that's part of the equation. But that's why the reason I don't buy into that, the Reds just dropped 2 or 3 at home against the embarrassingly bad Chicago Cubs roster. So that's why I hate when people say, I mean, that should be a cherry on top of why you think you should be telling me, man, I love our lineup. I love this. I love our starters. I love our bullpen. I love this guy. I love Castellano. I'm not hearing any of that. All I keep hearing is, well, I don't know. I'm not really confident in our team, but I'm confident that we're playing a lot of bad teams, so that's why we'll make the playoffs. Like, that's a loser mentality. If that's your mindset that, well, I don't know if we're good, but I know we're not as bad as the bad teams we have on our schedule remaining, that's a loser mentality, because I promise you the Yankees and everyone else, they're not paying attention to strength of schedule. They're telling you, no, we're going to punch you in the mouth because we have X, Y, and Z, and the Reds aren't doing that. So when people come at me and say, I'm too critical of David Bell has them right where, David Bell's why they're at where they're at, I could not agree with you more. David Bell has them right where they're at. And that's the problem. All right, hour 2 in the book. So Reds will be in action tonight. We will not carry tonight's Reds game because we do have high school football coming up, Centerville and Fairfield coming up 7 o'clock. College Football Hall of Famer Keith Byers and I will be live in Centerville bringing you the call for that one. Again, if you're just tuning in, congratulations to Fairmont. Last night, Fairmont won the Battle of Kettering. They beat Alter 16-7. There was a combined 6 pass attempts in last night's game. Touchdown. All right. And it was 78. So there was a combined between both quarterbacks, Malik Hilton for Fairmont and Danny Mangan III. So Mangan and Hilton for Fairmont combined for 6 total pass attempts and 78 yards. and 1 touchdown. And that touchdown pass, of course, came from Malik Hilton, who was 3 for 3, only 3 pass attempts. Drew Baker for Fairmont carried the ball 33 times for 147 yards, averaged 4.5 yards on each carry. His longest carry of the night was at 18 yards. Malik Hilton, the quarterback, he also rushed on 8 different occasions. He tallied 28 total yards, 3.5 yards on average per carry. His longest run of the night, he broke out for a first down, 14-yard run. Will Porter had 6 for 12 yards as well. So the rushing stats for both. I mean, Fairmont won the game in a low-scoring game, 16-7. There was nothing to brag about in the passing game, but at least Malik Hilton on 1 of his 3 pass attempts completed 1 for a touchdown. So that's pretty cool. But 188 total rushing yards for Fairmont, and then 156 total yards rushing for Alter. So there you go. But congratulations, Fairmont. Fairmont, we're going to be live in Kettering next week, a week from tonight, for week 2 of our high school football game of the week presented by Glacier Soft Water. So we're excited about that. They have all that momentum now. They have all that confidence, and they have a very good Trotwood team coming in next week as well. So we're looking forward to having that call right here on 1410 Wing AM. But Centerville Fairfield, our matchup coming up later on tonight at 7. Hour 3 coming up next. We'll talk Urban Meyer, and it's only preseason, but are you starting to be a little concerned about the development of Trevor Lawrence under Urban Meyer's watch? It's only preseason, but we'll still discuss it. Don't go anywhere.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
School's out for summer, but if your business is running QuickBooks, you'll never get a break. Their manual processes, integration difficulties, and glitchy delays will leave you scrambling for the numbers you need. Failing to graduate to NetSuite will leave you stuck in summer school while your friends party. NetSuite by Oracle is the #1 cloud financial system, no matter how big your business grows. With visibility and control of your financials, inventory, HR, e-commerce, and more, NetSuite is everything you need to grow all in one place. Automate your processes with NetSuite and close your books in no time. 93% of surveyed businesses increase their visibility and control since graduating to NetSuite. Special financing is back. NetSuite is offering a one-of-a-kind financing program to those ready to graduate.
Head to netsuite.com/radar right now. netsuite.com/radar. netsuite.com/radar.
WYNG 1410 Dayton, Dayton's ESPN Radio.
Many Vietnam War veterans were unknowingly exposed to dangerous chemicals impacting their health and quality of life. There are now expanded benefits for veterans exposed to Agent Orange. Veterans with Parkinsonism, bladder cancer, or hypothyroidism who previously applied for VA disability compensation but were denied should reapply and might be eligible for retroactive compensation. Exposed veterans who have not yet applied should consider filing a new claim. For assistance, call Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission at 937-225-4801.
The moment you fire up a Gator UTV, the engine has your full attention. The completed job is on the horizon, and the trail meets its match. Just like that, you made short work of a long to-do list. Run with us on a John Deere Gator UTV. With effortless four-wheel drive at the flip of a switch and our smoothest shifting transmission yet. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere Gator for more.
At Napa, we keep things moving. If it has wheels and an engine, we help keep it on the road. And if it's on the road, we have parts for it. And if you need a part, you can get it fast, like same-day pickup or next-day delivery fast. At Napa, when we're not thinking about cars, we're thinking about the people who drive them. Because when it comes to serving you and our community, our motor never quits. That's Napa know-how. Same-day pickup and next-day delivery available at participating stores and on in-stock items only.
Save big money with 11% off everything now at Menards, your home improvement store. The 6-inch new construction recessed housing makes installing recessed lights safe and simple. It features airtight construction with built-in push-in connectors for easy wiring. All Lithonia lighting, utility, recessed housings, and trims are 11% off now at Menards. Good through August 21st. Savings are mail-in rebates. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
You wanted to see me?
Yes, please, have a seat. So here's the thing. When this company brought you on, we took a chance on you.
You didn't have that 4-year college degree we typically look for.
Right.
But we gave you a shot anyway. And since then, you've worked incredibly hard and given it your all.
Thanks.
You've been an important asset to the team, but I don't think you can be an intern here anymore. We want to hire you.
You're serious?
Absolutely.
Find your next great employee. Introduce yourself to the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
I won't let you down.
I know.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
It's Wendy's BOGO $1. Get a Dave's single plus another favorite for just $1 more. Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Valid per item of equal or lesser value. Restrictions apply.
I'm probably okay to have one more drink before I drive home. I'm probably okay. I open the window to stay alert. Probably okay. I just popped some gum in my mouth.
Step out of the car, please.
I probably made a mistake.
Probably okay isn't okay when it comes to drinking and driving. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Excuse me. I know you have a 9 o'clock, so I'll keep this short. I'm the business suit in the back of your closet. You wore me nearly every day before your office went, quote, casual. I used to be the CEO of your closet. Now I'm just that one intern no one ever talks to. I always thought you'd circle back with me, get granular, keep me in the pipeline. But nada, nothing. Don't you remember the McKittrick presentation? You spilled coffee on me and I still looked amazing during the breakout talkback Q&A. So I think it's time for me to move on. I've got a great resume and I absolutely crush it in interviews, okay? Let's make this a clean break. Shift the paradigm. The only thing I ask is that you think outside the box here and do this. Take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create new jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff, create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Want free Reds tickets? How about a free MLB Network Reds bag? Maybe a Reds bobblehead? Here's an idea. How about we combine them all together and give you a chance to win a free WING Reds prize pack presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. Register daily at wingam.com.
Attention men under the age of 35. You know what really impresses the ladies? When a guy has a few drinks and later gets pulled over for buzzed driving. That could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. There goes let's grab dinner and a movie. Oh, I know. You drive more carefully when you're buzzed. You've proven that hundreds of times. A woman admires that kind of confidence. And you've practiced how to speak if a cop does pull you over. Slowly, clearly, and politely like, good evening, officer. A woman admires that kind of foresight. And what woman doesn't find it adorable that you call it buzzed even though the law calls it drunk? You can kiss $10,000 goodbye, along with any chance of having a girlfriend. Because nothing says, I'm a catch, more than a guy who lives in his parents' basement and calls it my place.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio. We're live. We're local.
What are you gonna miss? He struck him out.
We're Dayton's ESPN radio station. Now, let's send it to the WING studios for Dayton's only local sports talk show. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
I do want to give another shout out to Crazy King Burrito. They just opened up a new location in Fairborn, right there on Colonel Glenn. Burritos done right, authentic Mexican burritos. I'm telling you right now, they just brought in a whole bag of burritos a little bit ago, and we like to keep our distance here in the bill. These burritos actually worked against COVID because they brought us all together. We're all reaching over one another, trying to find the burrito we want. But I'm telling you right now, visit crazykingburrito.org. I'm telling you right now, the website has their full menu. Kev, you're going to be live out at Crazy King Burrito in Fairborn tomorrow on behalf of our sister station, Hot 102.9. The other station you work for. You're a busy dude. That food was fantastic. I'm jealous you get to be out there again tomorrow.
Yeah, I get to sample everything on the menu. Can't wait. 2:00 tomorrow. Going to be broadcasting live. Crazy King Burrito. University shops right across the street from Wright State. And I was telling the guys they are in a perfect location. Like if they were open while I was at Wright State, watch out. But I've graduated, so I'll be going up there. I have to drive up there as opposed to, just simply bebopping across the street.
Yeah, again, by the way, everyone's move-in day over the last, week or whatever, every school, different move-in day, what have you. But, I'm going to be spending a lot of time at Wright State doing some work up there over the coming months. So I'll be a frequent visitor to Crazy King Burrito. But yeah, just one more shout out to them. Appreciate them taking time. They hung out here for a while to make sure everyone got the burrito that they wanted. They have all these great sauces. Their chips and salsa are fantastic. So check it out one more time, Crazy King Burrito. Speaking of crazy, let's talk a little Urban Meyer in Jacksonville. Jaguars coach Urban Meyer said that he has a timetable in mind for naming a starting quarterback, but he also said that the competition between Trevor Lawrence and Gardner Minshew could last a few more weeks. Now, folks, I defended Urban about a week ago. I said, okay, he's trying to do the whole saying the right thing, but I think that in his head, he truly believes this. And this isn't like at Ohio State, Kev, where when you're the head coach, when you are the head coach, okay, and he was the king at Ohio State, okay, Gene Smith doesn't question roster decisions with Urban Meyer at Ohio State.
Right.
If Urban Meyer looked at Gene Smith and said, yeah, man, I know everyone really likes C.J. Stroud, but I like Jack Miller. I think Jack Miller's making a competition. Gene Smith isn't going to bat an eye. He's going to say, okay, you're Urban Meyer. I trust you. Gene Smith doesn't have a financial responsibility to these kids. So all Gene Smith cares about is the financial responsibility that the department has to the head coach. He trusts that coach to make the right decisions, and off you go. No one ever overlooked Urban's decisions when he was at Ohio State, or any school. And that's not an Urban. Don't make your joke about Urban there. That's any coach in college. That's, in college, yes, you have an athletic director that you technically answer to, but technically the ADs are not judging you on roster decisions. They might say, man, I'm really confused as to why he's not getting more playing time, but hey, he knows more than I do. He's the coach. That's what you get in college. You don't get that in the NFL.
Right.
So I'm curious, what I thought was just kind of gamesmanship a bit, to really just trying to motivate both Trevor and Gardner. I thought that's what that was just that. But I'm starting to believe that Urban really is questioning whether Gardner Minshew should be the starter or not. And in the NFL, Urban Meyer's not going to get the benefit of the doubt from ownership. They're not going to say, well, it's Urban's roster, because it's not Urban's roster. Like Urban didn't, it was smart to take Trevor Lawrence. I don't think Urban wanted anyone other than Trevor Lawrence, but Urban didn't have a choice. Trevor Lawrence was going to be his quarterback. Find this interesting, Kev. Is Trevor Lawrence not a bust? That's a total bad way to look at this. But Trevor Lawrence, we're talking about him as if he's the best college prospect coming out to the NFL since Andrew Luck, years and years ago. To sit here and say that Trevor Lawrence is battling it out neck and neck with Gardner Minshew, that's a weird message coming out. This isn't like it's it's not like the Justin Fields, Andy Dalton storyline in Chicago and others. This is Trevor Lawrence. I don't know. I think it's a bad look. I think it's either a bad look on Urban Meyer that he hasn't developed Trevor Lawrence properly, because whether that's the case or not, that's going to be the perception. There's a lot of pressure on Urban. Everyone thought that him going to the NFL, this was just going to be a little mini retirement gig. If he goes to the Jacksonville Jaguars, who had a generational prospect fall in their lap, and he screws this up, this could be way more stressful than anything he dealt with in Columbus or Florida. I promise you that much. He can't mess this up. And I'm just saying, it may not be his fault if Trevor Lawrence isn't as advertised, but he will get the blame. This is why I've always been hesitant on drafting a rookie quarterback with a rookie head coach, because you have to rely on one to develop the other. And who's developing both of these guys? Because that's a talentless roster right now. It's not a good situation in Jacksonville. I was a little weary of how this was going to work. I'm not saying it's not working, but I'm not getting all the butterflies and rainbow feeling either that it's working in Jacksonville. What say you?
These are just more of, Coach Myers psychology. You know, everybody used to brag about him having a psychology degree and everything like that, him being a master manipulator and motivating guys left and right. This is more of the same from Urban Meyer. This is him trying to keep that competition going. This is trying to keep whatever Gardner Minshew is doing in practice to keep the fire on Trevor Lawrence. Like, you may be the number one pick. You may be the savior or supposed savior of the franchise and everything like that. But I want to make sure Gardner Minshew is putting enough pressure on you that you are in your playbook constantly. You are staying after practice. You are getting those extra throws in with the receivers. I want to make sure that you're doing everything in your power to make sure you're that guy. This is more of Urban Meyer's motivational skills. These are the same things that he did at Bowling Green, which I have firsthand knowledge of. All same things he did at Florida, same things he did at Ohio State. This is more of Urban Meyer trying to motivate guys on his team. And you got to think also, he definitely has a young roster. You know, so many rookies on that team. If he's talking about Trevor Lawrence, the number one pick, not having a guaranteed spot, not being a starter on this team, or was he thinking about me? I'm the 3rd round pick. I got to really bust my hump too. So these are Urban Meyer trying to keep his team motivated, making sure people and guys on the team know that anybody can be talked about negatively or nobody has a guaranteed starting spot.
I know what you're saying,
that's more of a college thing. It's more of a college thing, yes.
But it doesn't exist in the pros.
He's a college coach, so he's going to use what he knows. So he's not a pro coach, and he doesn't know that these type of things really don't work unless you have the gravitas of a Bill Belichick, you know. So, but he's using what he's done in his past. This is the way he coaches. So when you hire a coach like Urban Meyer, a college coach, and he brings these college and tactics to the pros, you can't be mad at Urban Meyer for that because that's who they hire. Y'all hire him, so this is the tactics that he's going to use.
Oh, and to be clear, I don't disagree with anything you just said. I agree that's the problem, though. That's the problem. I mean, you can't be stubborn. You can't be Urban Meyer. So I'm going to do what I have always done in college because that's what made me successful. But that's the whole point of everyone being concerned about, will you work in the NFL? Nick Saban is going to go down most likely. I mean, if Nick Saban retired today, you might have another name that people could throw out, but he is going to be the most decorated, be looked at as the best college coach of all time. And he couldn't get it done in the NFL. So to sit there and be stubborn and say, well, in college, I did this. Well, the best coach of all time and Nick Saban did it his way too, and it didn't work out in the NFL. So you can't do it your way that you did in college. You should learn Urban's too smart of a dude to come into this situation and treat it like college always. I think the one thing that Urban will do a good job of is relating to players. I mean, that was his strength when he was in college. Mm-hmm. And there's just, I don't know, like I said, in college, you don't have, but the problem for Urban is now he has an ownership group looking over every decision he's making. Gene Smith, he never questioned Urban's decisions as far as roster management's going. It's Urban. I mean, I prefer that quarterback. I'd prefer that cornerback. I'd prefer that. But it's Urban Meyer. I trust him. It's one of the best coaches of all time. Urban's one of the best college coaches of all time. He's not anything in the NFL. He is a rookie head coach in the NFL. I just find this interesting to me. And again, but maybe it's Trevor Lawrence not being as good as anticipated. But at the same time, it's like, well, then that's also your fault. Whether it is or not, it is his fault. Like, it'll be viewed as his fault. Just like if Joe Burrow would not have panned out in Cincinnati, Zach Taylor is very fortunate that there's a lot on his plate as far as, fingers being pointed at him and blame going his way. He's lucky that Burrow looked as good as he did last year, because that's one less thing for him to be blamed for if Burrow doesn't pan out, because now they can't say he ruined him. That's all I got to say about that.
The difference between college coaching and NFL coaching is, especially when you're at a program like an Ohio State or Florida, you are sending multiple first round draft picks to the NFL. When you are the head coach, and especially a rookie head coach in the NFL, chances are you only getting one first round pick on your team a year.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm a big guy that said, all right, man, it's up to the GMs and the scouts to find those hidden gems and everything like that. But the truth of the matter is, like, the amount of talent that Ohio State had versus the amount of talent that the Jacksonville Jaguars have is light years apart. You know what I'm saying? Just like on a percentage base. Not saying like that the Ohio State Buckeye team could beat the Jacksonville Jaguar team in a football game. They're grown men that have been in the NFL for quite some time. But what I'm saying, like, on a base percentage wise, like, think about the guys that Urban Meyer had coached at Ohio State. Like, There's not a Chase Young on Jacksonville's roster. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not a Michael Thomas on Jacksonville's roster. You know, DJ Chark, he's a good receiver, but he's not a Michael Thomas. You know what I'm saying? So the amount of guys that Urban Meyer has coached, and just at Ohio State alone, the guys that are Pro Bowlers and all pros that come out of Ohio State, those guys ain't on Jacksonville. You know what I'm saying? The best player on Jacksonville now is the linebacker for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they gave him up for a 6th-round pick. Appreciate that, by the way.
So Lawrence worked with the first team on Friday. Today, Minshew worked with the first team yesterday. The rookie said he's fine with competing for the starting job. But what's he going to say? But he says it doesn't bother me. I think that's the way to run a team. Honestly, the best player has to play, and you've got to compete. But again, see, it's funny but that's all cute. Put it on a bumper sticker. But the bottom line is, Trevor Lawrence, you are viewed as one of the top prospects in the history of college football to come to the NFL. You don't get to say that. You don't get to say, oh, well, I honestly think that's how you do it. The best player should play, and you've got to compete. I'm the best. If Andy freaking Dalton can come out and say, it's my time, I'm pretty sure Trevor Lawrence, who will be a million times better, at least the perception is, or the expectations are, like, this is weakness right here. I think it's weakness. I think it's weak sauce.
The same thing you said about Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer's a rookie head coach. He's done nothing in the NFL.
Weakness square.
Trevor Lawrence has done nothing in the NFL. He's a rookie. He's trying to earn his stripes. Like, if he comes in there as the rookie guy with that hair, with the ego saying it should be mine, it's me, he's gonna be viewed as a crybaby.
I didn't say you had to say that. Way. Just don't say what you said.
Okay, you're Trevor Lawrence. What exactly should he say?
Okay, if I'm Trevor Lawrence and I say, F Urban Meyer. Who the hell's Urban Meyer? I owned Urban Meyer when I was in college. I owned him then, I own him now. And to be honest, Trevor Lawrence controls his fate, because if Trevor Lawrence doesn't turn into anything, Urban's gone. So but in all seriousness, he doesn't have to come out and say that, like, oh, well, the best players should play. It just sounds very passive and very like, oh, well, I'm getting better. I'm working on it. I know that in your world, you think that you live in the bumper sticker world, Kev, where it's all like, just work hard, by golly, and everything will be fine. But he was drafted number 1 overall.
But is it just the same thing you were bashing Joe Burrow about yesterday? Like, Joe Burrow came out and said, oh, my knee feels great. I'm not scared anymore. And you wanted him to give the company a line. Now, Trevor Lawrence is giving the company a line. You want him to come out.
No, that's not the company line. That's not the company.
That is the company line.
The company line's different for every caliber of player. He's too good of a player for him to hold well, by golly, me and Gardner Minshew are competing for the... No, it's Gardner Minshew. You ain't competing for the job with Gardner Minshew. And if you are, this is like what I said earlier. My coach used to say, if Kinner's the most productive player on the court, that's a problem. And if Gardner Minshew is edging out Trevor Lawrence to win the starting job, it doesn't mean that you have a good quarterback. It just means that your not so good quarterback beat out Trevor Lawrence, who's supposed to be really good. And as far as Joe Burrow's concerned, what I said about that was that he should not have said that he is completely fine, because now when he struggles moving forward, he doesn't get to use that excuse anymore. And I guarantee you the team didn't like that he said that either. But Joe Burrow, don't have to worry about him getting hurt this weekend or tonight, because he's not playing tonight, which is fine because it's preseason. So when do the Jags play? Just kind of curious. I'm going to look at pulling up the schedule now. So the Jacksonville Jaguars will play... My goodness, where the hell are they? Oh, geez, of course, Monday night. So they play at the Saints.
How much are those tickets?
And I missed that game. Actually, I missed a few games. To watch the Browns. Yeah, I missed a few games. To watch the Browns in Cleveland on Sunday, Kev. Take on the Giants. How much you think tickets are?
$22.
$10. I would go watch the Browns for $10. I mean, I'd pay a lot of money to go watch the Browns, but I mean, for $10, good for them. The Chargers and Niners, Sunday night as well. Tickets are as low as what to watch the Chargers and the Niners in
Chargers
preseason?
And the Niners. This is California.
Inflation.
$25.
Close, 30. Now the New Orleans Saints.
The Aints.
And the Jaguars, Urban Meyer, Trevor Lawrence on the road in New Orleans. 8 o'clock, Monday Night Football preseason action from Caesars Superdome. Tickets are as low as what? New Orleans a 4-point favorite, if that matters.
$12.
$5 hairs. $5 hairs. Have a great night, everybody. Actually, no, what do we do? We still have another half hour of the show. I'm getting all antsy. We got high school football tonight. It's our ESPN Dayton Glacier Softwater High School Football Game of the Week. Centerville and Fairfield coming up 7 o'clock. The kickoff. College Football Hall of Famer Keith Byers and myself will be live at Centerville bringing you all the action. So whether you tune in live at 1410 Wing AM, you can listen to the stream live at wingam.com. We'll also have the audio stream live right here on Facebook on the Justin Kinder Show page, ESPN Dayton's page, and ESPN Dayton's YouTube channel. Have a great night, Kev. Have a great weekend. Folks, have a great weekend. Enjoy week 1 of the high school football season, and we'll do this again on Monday. Until then, I'm losing my mind. Yeah, see, you just let me sing. We still have another half hour. We have another half hour of the show. Kinder's failing at this miserably. We'll be back. Right?
Yes, we will.
Don't go anywhere.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash.